Yeah, it literally is like Boomer. What? What'd you say?
What are we doing here?
What are we doing?
We're here to kill God. I saw my shadow on the podium. That's 6 more weeks of bombing Iran.
2 to 3 weeks will have killed God.
2 or 3 weeks, God is hitting, history's over. We're gonna do it.
2 weeks to flatten the belief.
2 weeks to flatten the collective unconscious. That was I went to the Akashic Records to yeet God, and all I got was this lousy Geass. Oh man, you kind of could fit that. Yeah, you could like fit current geopolitics into this schema. But anyways, yeah, I can't believe it. Season 2 was incredible. It had
that was way better than last week.
Yeah, but trust the plan. History's over. Humanity's gonna be peaceful. Nunnally's gonna return. Nunnally's gonna open her eyes. Trust the plan.
That is literally like Lelouch's plan is just like end history forever. Just end it forever.
But then he realizes it was a psyop. It was like a Gladio operation.
I believe in the supremacy of Francis Fukuyama, folks. Francis Fukuyama.
Lelouch is
the end of history.
You know what's funny is that Lyndon LaRouche and Francis Fukuyama, they kind of both have their own end of history versions. Like with LaRouche, it's like the resource-based economy nonsense. And with like, of course, with Fukuyama, it's just like terminal neoliberalism forever. But they kind of both, like Lelouch is kind of like that in the series too. Like he has, like now it's not just like, let's become nation states again. Let's embrace Westphalia. Let's become a federation of friends. Now it's like, I'm going to be God Emperor. And like the only way to ensure peace forever. It's like he goes from like, he becomes like a multi-polarity.
Yeah, it's funny you bring up LaRouche because Mr. Polemical, he sent me something to read on air where he spelled Lelouch as LaLouche, like LaRouche. And he said, Lelouch, the restarter of history, destroyer of the vampiric elderly boomer-like. He swung the sledgehammer and smashed their false god, ending the parasitism of his evil family. The engine of time, humanity, and conflict roars to life. Hail Lelouch, hail history.
No, it's true though. No, it's true because Code Geass, it kind of is about like the boomers being like finally it's to quote the intro to Clockwork Orange, where he says like it's the young having a go at the old. But this is like in a good way, like for the first time, like the young is having like a genuine go at the old, at like the boomer world order of the emperor, and then we discover his mother. It's great. Like we're gonna talk about all of it. So, folks, this is episode 151 of Digital Archipelago, covering Code Geass season 2. Although there's like a movie where everything's different. I saw on Crunchyroll. And like there's
So there's recap movies. Film? Yeah.
Okay.
There's recap movies. Yeah. There's 3. So there's 2 recap films that recap each season, and then but they're like very different from the show in many ways. And then there's a sequel movie. And the sequel movie is whatever.
Yeah. But anyways, this is Digital Archipelago, and there's a lot to cover with the second season of Code Geass, but how have you gentlemen been?
Exhausted. How about you?
Exhausted.
We both spent last weekend moving.
Yes.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So it's
him not moving into a new place, but moving stuff into it.
Yeah, moving stuff into a bigger place, moving stuff for him into a bigger place. So yeah, we're both very happy to take a break.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
How about
For
yourself?
Same old. Easter's coming up. Actually, I haven't been that great lately. Well, I mean, my grandmother, she's not long for this world, unfortunately. So, yeah, me and my folks and my aunts were just, we're kind of, if you could pray for my grandmother, if everyone could pray for my grandmother, that'd be great. But,
sure.
she is 91 years old, it is, but yeah, so we're just, anyways, I know that's really depressing, but, yeah, but anyways, yeah, that's what I've been, occupied with. But other than that, trying to, keep up with everything. I have this big
Yeah.
commission I'm doing. And speaking of which, I've actually been doing pretty great with the website. I got to really thank Dimes for, finally doing the final tune-ups with the website. But I'll show that later when we get more people. I'll show that later. But anyways, yeah. So yeah, that's what's going on. But yeah, thanks guys. But other than that, world news has also not been that great. I don't know if you wanted to cover anything. I know there's Trump's speech last night.
Which I did. I have not seen it. I was at church when it happened, so I did not. I did not participate in our dear leader's national address.
I thought he made it sound like he was gonna make like a big announcement, and really it was just like things he's already said before.
It was his true social post he was reading out, basically.
Yeah, it was whatever. It was honestly kind of a nothing burger.
He made a lot of like wild.
I'm glad I didn't miss anything then.
Yeah,
He made a lot of like wild claims, like the oil market is temporarily shot up because of the Iranians blowing up tankers rather than not because of the war. Because I mean, I guess technically that kind of is true, but it's a consequence of the war. So,
yeah.
and he kind of just kept reiterating, like, they're totally gone, they're totally smashed, but 2 more weeks. But also, like, he did just, like I said, he was reading his true social posts. And so it was all more about, like, if the Europeans want it more, then they can go and open up the strait. So
Yeah,
it was more of the same, yeah.
I thought he was prepping for an announcement that we were withdrawing from NATO, and
Yeah, me too.
Definitely not going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen, honestly, and part of me doesn't think it should happen, but yeah, I mean it turned out to be like a nothing burger. Though he did give a big announcement today. I think the Bondi thing is actually really good.
Yeah,
I'm glad
that is the biggest announcement today,
Yeah.
for sure.
Besides, like, I don't really like Tulsi Gabbard, so I thought she should go for a while, and she might be.
You don't like Mommy Tulsi?
I do not. I'm not like Tulsi for a very long time.
First you insult
the safe horny needs to tone it down a little.
First you insult Tucker Carlson on the TL, and now you do this. No.
Yeah. I don't know. I found Tulsi to be like very fake from the beginning of her being like a popular political figure.
Maybe you got a point.
In fact, in 2019, I wrote an article about how she wasn't actually an anti-interventionist, all the way back in 2019.
True. Wow, that's crazy.
And but besides her, I think the 2 big embarrassments of the Trump administration this term have been Kristi Noem and Pam Bondi, and both of them are out, which I think is good.
Wait, Kristi Noem is out now?
She's been out for like a week.
Mark Wayne Mullen is now the new
which is good. He's way better.
I mean, he's better by nature of being a man. I mean, there's some Oklahoma hasn't had a good senator in a long time. So I'm terrified as to who Governor Stitt will or who he's replacing him with. I think it's Alan Armstrong. I think he works in energy. but very kind of Governor Stitt's very soft on immigration, so I'm just a little worried that Armstrong will be as well.
That is a worry, but I think that he's a better pick overall than like Gnome, who is kind
of, by a country mile.
Bad for optics, and just not as committed to like deportations as this guy is. Like for all her grandstanding, she actually did very little, which I hear is like the main reason she had a conflict with Homan, which is half of the reason she's out is that she was feuding with Homan. We found out why she was feuding with Homan recently with her husband.
The Christy Noem's husband,
he was breast maxing.
Yeah, he was breast. That's what we're gonna call him the show, breast maxing. Oh my god!
I mean, he's a filthy degenerate, but like, yeah, he's the
way he was looking so serious into the camera too. Like,
it was the Buffalo Bill fuck me eyes, is what it was. Like there's no other way to politely describe that other than okay, like you've clearly got a thing going on here.
I think Republican women, they do kind of like men of certain proclivities.
This is Scott Greer's point about like the insane clown party is just that conservatism more than the Democrats will do everything in its power to do like pro girl boss. You can do anything, sweetie, because like they will never tell conservative leaning women to go get, to not go to college and or to be like Shagbark, right, and just go out in the middle of nowhere and settle living in your $45,000 crack den that'll give you cancer. And so, the party doesn't really select for a lot of like great straight white men positions of power or influence. So what do? Well, you have all these like gay political operators and, well, I love my husband, my wife. She's my best friend, but like, don't look up why I have Grindr on my phone. And lo and behold, DC Politics explained very, very politely.
It's kind of like Eve magazine pushing. I saw today, like, the hottest young, like, sexy, transgressive e-girls. They're all like the hottest meetup for like young people is at the Catholic Church in New York. And it's this like weird chat thought, like, see, my friend Evola Bay back in the day, she penned this great article in Thermometer magazine called like The Revenge of the Trad Thoughts, I think it was called, or The Coming Trad Thought. And it's like the ultimate like, postmodern subversion. And it's like a weird like thing where I think it all sort of like revolves around a fetishization of like the aesthetics of it. Like the sort of green polo shirt nationalism, pickleball skirt nationalism, Catholic e-girl waif, fawn, eating disorder e-girl nationalism. Like it's got that,
It's all downstream from just like a general trend on the right of like the idolization of like aesthetics and where you get that meme where it's like Orthodox churches 1,000 years ago, Catholic churches 1,000 years ago, Protestant churches 1,000 years ago, and then like the Protestant church doesn't exist, and then it's like those today, and it's the same for Catholic and like Orthodox, and then Protestants, it's like
the Protestants have their own craziness. Yeah, they have.
But it's like I could show you like some Protestant churches that look way more beautiful than like an Orthodox or a Catholic church. It's just this like insane insane obsession with aesthetics as like the ultimate good, when like aesthetics are merely supposed to reflect the ultimate good, but they turn aesthetics themselves into a good, and it's just so stupid. And I hate
it. That argument on it's like that article on Substack about about the right-of-way and like this sort of like aesthetic true thesis of like the aesthetic is the end result rather than what it points to. And I feel like, I mean, but then of course, like I noticed that, which I mean is probably something I've feared for a long time, which is the return to like Jon Stewart, like new Reddit, new atheist liberalism, because you have like that crazy religious woman in the White House that does exorcisms and like,
Oh
you know,
yeah.
like, and you like saying like, you know, comparing Trump to Jesus, and it's like right before Easter. Well, I mean, you know, Western Easter, but like it's a
Mhm.
I feel like it is sort of like the perfect catnip for like the pushing 40 millennial irony cell. Like I never stopped being a new atheist. I never stopped worshiping Jon Stewart. Now they got, you know, who's the next Jon Stewart is like Adam Friedman or whatever his stupid name is. It's like, you know what I mean? Like it's kind of got like, oh no, like the Obama core years are back because like these, you know, crazy evangelicals in the war with Iran. It's a very weird time right now. I
Yeah,
hope they don't come back, but you know, yeah,
I don't know if they will, just because like you know, like Reddit atheism has been like so thoroughly embarrassed. I think like
yeah,
if we see like a resurgence of any kind of atheism, it'll be like a more mild mannered, like it'll be like almost a Richard Spencer atheism actually.
yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah, 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 yeah,
like that. I think that's more likely because I think it's like we're inevitable that we're going to get like I think white people in general are going to get more right wing in the next few years, while non-whites are going to get more left wing, but they're going to be like in that way where they're like some of them are atheists, some of them are Muslims, some of them are Hindus. Just like
or
a
they'll
big
have some kind of like amalgamation of New Age spirituality. That's
yeah yeah. I mean because I think I saw a mutual of mine, Blockhead, on Twitter. He
oh,
quote
shout out
tweeted
to
that
Blockhead, yeah,
article. Yeah, he quote tweeted that article you were talking about the like the new hot club in New York is the Catholic Church, and he was just talking about how um like this is just like so fake because it's just from this desire from people to find some kind of meaning in a post-COVID world, which like actually made us reflect,
yeah.
and that most people today are not like primed for really any kind of Christianity that actually demands anything more of you than like believe in God and come to church, every once in a while.
Yeah. No, but
Um,
but at the same time, like I mean, I'm probably gonna piss off some of the audience here, but like it's just like they're doing this like weird spectacle that's very reminiscent of the Ronald Reagan administration, like Nancy Reagan. I
yeah.
mean, I actually prefer Nancy Reagan having an astrologer than like whatever I saw at this White House meeting, and like unfortunately you had like Bishop Barron there. But it's funny how they're doing this, but yet it's like in Lebanon there are Christian churches that are being demolished because of the various actions of the coalition, to put it in an OPSEC sort of way, and of
Yeah.
course they probably don't even recognize those people as Christians.
I think it is though a positive direction because in general, like overall, just because like I don't know if you saw, like even Mike Huckabee was really upset about Christians being denied from access to the Holy
Oh yeah,
Sepulchre,
that's true. Yeah,
and,
I
and
did
he
see that's
helped.
true.
He did actually help get that decision reversed apparently, so they're going to be let in.
Yeah, that's good.
Um,
Yeah,
which
I know
I
like
think
Huckabee was embarrassed by Qatar's
yeah
Qatar,
yeah.
but yeah, that was you're right. You're right, Onizuka. That was
I think, but I think even like the most devout of like Israel followers are kind of starting to get fed up with it a bit, and I think it's because partly I think Mike Huckabee believes his own Kool-Aid. Like
yeah, yeah,
I think he believes his own Kool-Aid, and when he has encountered something that he can't that
ignore.
inevitably comes to his desk that he ignores, he is ready to actually be like, well, hold on, those are Christians. You shouldn't do that to Christians. And I
Yeah,
think that's true of a lot of the people. I think Trump believes his own Kool-Aid on the Israel stuff. Like I,
yeah.
I, I believe that for a very long time, which is
That
why I think I'm less surprised than a lot of people that he did this thing with Iran in the first place.
Yeah, true. I think, what's funny is, like, I know, like, he, at the end of the day, like, he does service a lot of evil, but there's something about Mike Huckabee, maybe because, like, when I was, like, I don't know, like, 13, 14 years old, and, like, I saw that he was a bass player, and I, like, love bass. I used to play bass a little bit. And I'm like, oh, that guy's kind of cool, Mike Huckabee. I hope he wins instead of, Obama 2.0. But like, so even like during the Tucker interview, I didn't like, I think Huckabee, like, he was like flat footed, like he was caught off guard. But
Yeah,
yeah, something about him just, he does have that like folksiness, I think.
I think a lot
I
of it
can't
is
hate him too much, you know what I mean? Like, I can't hate him too much.
what people don't realize is that like Zionism as a political force has been so ingrained in our politics for decades now that like there are a lot of political actors who aren't like who don't believe in this like what is the word? I can't think of the word right now. But there are like that genuinely believe in Zionism. They're not like just believing in it because APAC paid them. Like
No,
APAC
exactly. They have an
people,
organic,
pays
yeah.
people a lot less than it used to.
Right,
And if I remember
yeah.
correctly, like their contributions have actually gone down in the last decade, because they don't need to. You
Yeah.
know, there are a lot of political actors who just have grown up in a Zionist political world and thus believe it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, not for younger people now, but definitely that is
Yeah.
true. Like, you don't have to like give Mike Huckabee a lot of money to like for him to believe this stuff. So
I don't think honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if he takes no money for it. I
he
would.
does it for free.
I
Yeah,
think he does
yeah.
it for the
Yeah,
love of
if
the
he were
game.
taking less than like if he were getting like minimum campaign contributions from them or whatever, supporting whatever political group he's a part of, I wouldn't be surprised in the slightest, because like he is a dyed in the wool true believer of this stuff. Like I think it was like last Pascha, it was I think Mike Huckabee was in some garden area or some cemetery in Israel that I guess he claims is where Christ rose from the dead. And it was like, well, that's not the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. Like, why are we giving this like weird Easter message in a place that is not traditionally associated with the resurrection? And so, but I mean, a lot of it has to do with just like, there is that large cognitive gap and dissonance that, well, if you really do believe in, say, like the sort of dispensationalist theology, then like, yeah, you're probably going to not adhere to what older apostolic forms of Christianity are going to say about X, Y, and Z issue. And then in America, it's just like, those things are not historically associated with the United States at all. Because I mean, like Catholicism, of course, has been a very touchy subject on the issue of immigration. Orthodoxy, again, only due to the subject of immigration. And so America has had entire towns in the United States founded in its, frontier days, entirely predicated on like what one pastor says or what one preacher says. And we have there's a whole American colony predicated on all of this about the differences in political and religious views. So, I mean, to see it be so separate from, say, what had been existing in the old world doesn't surprise anybody. And then just on top of all this, like the New York article thing that you were talking about, it's just like, well, I remember Tara Isabella Burton writing about this in like 2021 in the height of COVID. She was like, weird Christianity. It's just like COVID wiped out social spaces. The last social spaces became these places that, most people don't think about anymore, like the Kiwanis Club or Elks Lodges or like your local church. And then you throw on all the madness of 2020. And to a large extent, there's just been, this is not to blaspheme or to deny the works of God, but there has been, I think, a large degree of I guess you could call it white flight, but for people looking for meaning.
Yeah.
I mean, I've said this many times. Like, I think, and I get a lot of flack from people in our church for saying that a lot of the growth of Orthodoxy in America is just like white flight. Is literally white flight. I mean, I would say when you screen out the Orientals who aren't even technically part of our church, I would say Orthodoxy in America is probably like 95% white. You know, just even thinking about our church, like the
It
very
is
few,
90% white.
yeah, it's like 90% white. Even the cathedral nearby is probably like 80% white, if I had to guess. Um, so yeah, I would say like a lot of this is also driven by white flight, because
Wait,
it's by and large it's not non-whites looking for these churches. It's white people.
well, no, I think that it's funny you mentioned that because just today I was on the timeline. I was conversing a bit with Astral, who posted about because I think Oren posted about Spangler's concept of the second religiousness, but what Spangler meant was he kind of did mean a return to Catholicism and Orthodoxy in the Western world or in the sort of Western mind because of the sort of incredible loss of meaning. It just like say religiousness, the way that people imply it is sort of like, you know, the New Age movement. But for people that are of European descent, I do think that there's something there. Whereas people that are even like, you know, people that come from Latin America or Asia or Africa that come to the Western world, they sort of still have, even like their children kind of have like a, what's the proper term, like a cultural jet lag. And so they're sort of like trending, like even Muslims will eventually trend towards secularization. And I think maybe that'll be different in a few generations, but whereas like people that have been ensconced in like Western secularism for decades now, especially like, you know, Gen Xers, millennials, it's like there's only like either you embrace it or you embrace the like what Spangler called the second religiousness as a form of going back to your roots. And I don't think like he didn't write a lot. I mean, maybe he did. I don't know if it does imply as like a return to paganism as well, but within like living historical consciousness, he could say like, you know, the return to like Protestant, even like Protestantism or like Orthodoxy and Catholicism for like people of European descent, like that is what he calls a second religiousness.
Yeah.
Yeah, the New Age spirituality thing, I think he would consider that just like an aberration.
I think it's interesting that you brought up like Muslims getting secular, because like I've looked at the data for them, and they're already becoming secular, and in fact non-whites in general. It's like as soon as you're past like first generation immigrants, like
Yeah,
their religious policy like drops off a cliff. And that's like for everybody, whether it's like Hispanic Catholics or Muslims or Hindus. Hindus it's strongest. Even just like personally, anecdotally, um, I'm gonna clarify this with not blood related relatives, but I do have Hindu family members, and the only ones who are even a tiny
nice.
bit like religiously Hindu are the ones who are first generation immigrants. All the other ones are not.
It is like
Um,
it is like a total like upending of the Mark Stein counter jihad narrative, like he put out in America Alone. Like
mhm.
for a time in the 2000s, Muslims in Europe actually got more radicalized, but they get like well radicalized in a different sense that's more based off of like culture and ethnicity, whereas like religiosity tends to fall off by the time you get to the third generation. So
Yeah,
yeah, like I think they were kind of wrong about their motivations. Like,
yeah.
which, yeah,
They still get first gen like get very radicalized. I mean, I
yeah,
remember like a few
yeah.
months ago reading a really funny article about I think it was the UAE said they're going to stop allowing their students to go study abroad in the UK because they were fearing that they would get radicalized by the Muslim Brotherhood in the UK.
And the Muslim, and it's all like white ginger guys. And the
Yeah,
Muslim.
yeah. It was like a really funny article to read because it was just like, yeah,
Do you
yes,
know
the
Virginia?
UAE, a Muslim majority country, is scared of their citizens being radicalized in the UK.
Oh my god, it's just like, it's like, yeah, my favorite video from those three guys, the fat Muslim, he kind of looks like me a little bit if I had a ginger beard. I kind of do have a ginger beard.
You kind of do.
Yeah, but like the funniest one was they went to the halal cafe where they had like proper English breakfast, but I guess they're substituting with turkey or whatever. It's like, oh brother, oh Ahmadullah, I can't believe it. I've been missing the English breakfast. Those videos are peak, man. They're peak. Like, I gotta admit, they're great. Like the Dino Verdunya music video where he's like talking on the phone to somebody. He's like, I can't believe this changed my life forever. Which it probably did. Like, I'm not knocking them. I mean, I guess I am a little bit. But like, I don't know, man. Like, I guess if like there have been plenty of like, you know, quirked up white boys that have embraced Islam. Like, I mean, Rene Gagnon, other people I can't mention. You know, you know. So, anyways, but you know what's funny though? This is all leading to Code Geass because, like, but before we get to that, because Code Geass really is about like overturning the boomer-led world order. But before we get to that, we are not, you know, we're not being paid off by, excuse me, you know, we're not being paid off by anybody, by any nation,
except by viewers like you.
Except by viewers like you.
Except for me, I'm being paid by the state of Bulgaria.
Well, that's different. That's an ancestral thing. But anyway, so if you would like to support the show, all our links are below. If you like to support me, if you like to buy some good work, JannerProductions.com. Look at that. We got everything here. Really, really cheap prices too, because I know that a lot of you are brokies. I should be selling each for like $200 a pop. Maybe I get some more respect. But I'm sorry. I'm just trying to razz the listeners.
Yeah. Let's financially insult the audience that pays us. Let's see how that's a bold strategy, Cut. Let's see how that works out for you.
Oh,
and you're paid by the state of Bulgaria. Why are you? You're your Land Shark sponsor, aren't you?
So yeah, maybe I am.
An actual doctor now. This is actually this is one I did these two studies from a Boards of Canada music video. There you go. So yeah, giantproductions.com. The prints are cheaper still, but we have a lot of paintings that are also quite nice in your price range. They're quite good, the best, and I appreciate and love all of you. I know some friends of ours have recently bought some stuff. My friend Kat and my longtime supporter listener Lemurian. I believe they're married together, and they were recently redecorating their house. And so they bought some works for me. So the viewer is the fifth column. Is the real fifth column in the digital archipelago. Oh, that's good. That's good. That's a good one. Oh. All right. So Tucker modeled his cackle off of Geo. That'd be great. Well, I know Cat D did mention me on his show once. So there you go.
There's
that
a
was
future
great
for you yet.
I know. We'll see. One day. Maybe we'll talk about UFOs after I drop this content minded on UFOs and modern painting. This essay by Young. I love that, man. I love like the anti-UFO discourse. I just have to like contrarian post against it. I have to like defend glorious Coast to Coast AM Kino from the 2000s. But anyways, so Code Geass season 2. Let's get into it.
Much better than season 1.
All right, so shall we or Onizuka Groyper?
We left off with a rebellion against the Britannian Empire.
Yeah,
we're right inside of Tokyo, and we are left on a cliffhanger of Lelouch and his friend shooting each other. Or it's
Was it?
implied that they're going to shoot each other.
Yes, Suzaku.
Yeah,
The
Suzaku.
one- Yeah, the one little kid, VV, which turns out to be like an ancient eldritch force, didn't he transport them to this island, or what happens?
No. So V2 is actually the Emperor Charles's older brother,
Mhm.
who received a code from somebody else, some other person like C2, when they were children. And V2 did lure them to the island, to Shikine Island, by he kidnapped Nonali, and he lured Zero Lelouch there, because Lelouch was putting a wrench in his personal plans. It's revealed later in the season that V2 kind of has his own agenda. It's not really clear what it is, other than he hates Lelouch's mom for getting in between his bromance with his younger brother. So
that's not weird at all.
Yeah, because V2 is the one, that turns out, who killed Lelouch's mother, who is actually not even dead. She transplanted her consciousness in like a random little girl.
That happens to be a nightmare pilot as well.
Well, she became a nightmare pilot because Marion, who was one of the best nightmare pilots in the Empire before she died, was basically controlling her.
Yeah.
In her act.
Oh, I didn't know that Lelouch's mother was a nightmare pilot.
Yeah, she was Marion the Flash.
Yeah,
she was one of the. I think she was a Knight of Round before she became an Imperial consort.
Yeah, because for those who don't remember, the first season, the Emperor has multiple wives. It's sort of like if King Henry just didn't execute them.
Yeah, I remember somebody's last episode said, did they become Mormon or something? And it's like it feels kind of like that, but it also feels like they're just not Christian in general. I mean, in this season, like the Emperor straight up disses the 10 Commandments is not true, and like something imposed on us to make us slaves.
Imposed on the strong by the weak.
Nietzschean Bronze Age.
I was about to say it was incredibly Nietzschean.
Yeah,
I feel like Varg Vikeness literally just watched this show, and that's how he got his ideology of hating Christianity.
that's how he came up with his own game, Mi Farog. I wonder if you could buy his board game.
You can. You can.
Oh, maybe we should review Mi Farog. Apparently people said it's actually kind of enjoyable, his board game. But yeah, it definitely does have
I guess I could print the PDF off and try and play it myself.
No, but what's funny is that it's sort of a weird mix of we're Bronze Age Nietzschean, we are transvaluating all values for the strong, we are the blonde beasts, but ultimately it's revealed not as the sort of vibrant artistic creation of the self that was implied in Zarathustra, but rather it's we are Bronze Age Nietzscheans for the end of history, which is Code Geass. To me, I will never say
it's all trauma vibes.
It's all trauma vibe. Yeah. What do you mean by that?
This is very Japanese of the series.
Well, I say that because even the Emperor and his brother have this intense desire to make the world a better place based off of their own issues or their own experiences. And even Lelouch's whole thing is I'm going to have revenge for them killing my mom, which again, totally justifiable desire to go get revenge. Because if someone killed my mother, I'm taking a whole bunch of people with me. But functionally, even for them, right? The Emperor and his brother is just we're going to make the world a place where there's no more lying, no more deceit. It's very idealistic.
You know what that's like, Prude?
What's that like?
It's exactly like proprietarianism.
You mean propertarianism?
Propertarianism, yeah.
Okay.
There's no more lying. It's going to be outlawed. And it's like that. Yeah. It's like, but anyways, go on, Prude. Man.
You felt like you really needed to make a reference to Kurt Doolittle today. Okay.
Yeah.
No, so yeah, like there's and again, Lelouch is very much like his father in that instance, where like there is a very idealistic desire to correct the world and where things are, which again is somewhat appreciated, like, oh, like that's neat, like this is the world that he wants to improve, even if it comes at such a insane kind of cost. And then of course, despite being the avatar for all these like values, it's also, well, you yourself got played because you became like a true believer in something like the mission, and turns out your little brother, who is this like immortal being, did lie to you. Which makes that a little entertaining, but nevertheless, like this season is pretty good. Like there's like a year since the rebellion took place and failed, and now it's the consequences of that, which is the Britannian Empire fighting the Chinese. The EU is functionally over. Parts of Europe's been kind of cut in half, more or less. Russia's part of Britannia now, but like Italy, Poland, and other places aren't. And then, of course, you're dealing with the Chinese still, it was interesting to see how they incorporated the Chinese, because it's just like, yeah, we're still believers that they're like doing the whole like eunuch thing, and then also we're doing
communism with eunuch characteristics.
Yes, it's
Oriental despotism, essentially.
It's just like America.
They also like miscounted the intense like Anglo hatred of the Russians. Like I guess not really, because if the Russians get absorbed by Britannia, then maybe.
That doesn't mean that they have to like it.
True. Yeah.
Like there is nothing in this whole shtick that says they're gonna get really on board with like it's subjugation. They're not gonna really enjoy it.
Yeah. But then what happens though is that the season opens up with Lelouch being mind wiped, and there's this intense, like this basically like imagine a CIA, like this is like total parapolitics. Like there is a in the base.
You got hit with the beam.
You got hit with the beam, yeah.
You got discombobulated.
Yeah. And you got hit with a beam, and there is monitors lurking and monitoring and basically bugging his rooms and trying to find any scrap of evidence that Lelouch does remember his Geass and remembers his past. And here's what they do. They mind wipe, they Men in Black memory erase Nunnally after kidnapping Nunnally, and now they put in
Nunnally not affected.
Nunnally is the only one who is not affected at all.
Oh no, but what I mean is like all the students in Lelouch, they they make it so like they pretend Nunnally never existed.
Yes.
And what they do is they put Rollo, who is pretending to be Lelouch's younger brother, who is like the psychotic like agent from birth CIA experiment program.
Yeah,
and he's
literally
like this merciless assassin who's like basically has no conscience whatsoever, and his mission is also to spy on Lelouch. But then, spoiler alert, he then gets conned by Lelouch into brotherly love. No, I mean like by showing him affection as a brother. Lelouch manipulates him and manipulates his Geass, which can freeze time to actually help him reestablish the Black Knights. And anyways, go ahead, Onizuka. What happens with this?
Yes, and eventually he turns the people who are supposed to be like watching him and making sure he doesn't get his Geass back into his like own puppets, so he can continue to remain like secretly Zero, which is which actually I think makes like some of the high school parts a little more interesting this season. Is that like they're integrated with the Zero stuff a lot more, in the sense that he has to like he's living this double life more explicitly for the purpose of gain as Zero.
Yeah.
rather than it just him just being something he still does because he just does, for some reason, like it is in season one. And I think season two too, like it integrates the high school characters way better. Like, of course, Shirley's death is like a really tragic moment in it, and
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know,
Oh yeah,
of
Shirley
course,
dies. She gets shot. Yeah.
yes,
Um.
shot by Rolo, who in his obsessiveness that continues to like grow over the series, um, kills Shirley because he doesn't want anybody coming in between him and Lelouch.
Yeah.
'Cause Shirley's like ready. She's like, I trust the plan. I'm 100% behind you, Lelouch. I'm ready to kill for you. I don't care that you lied to me. I don't care that you killed my dad.
I'll do
I'll,
anything
I'll,
for
I'll
you.
do anything for you. You know,
Anything.
like,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
She
um,
didn't even need the
and
chaos
Rolo, like,
either. It was just activation
yeah,
code Ronald McDonald. All Shirley's
yeah.
go.
it was assumingly like what Attila the Hun's like many wives felt after he like killed their dads in front of them and took them as another bride. Like something like that.
That was like that Howling Mutant tweet about that woman who saw her boyfriend get redacted by the New York street. I'm not
Oh
gonna repeat
yeah.
that. I'm not gonna repeat
Yeah, yeah.
I know
that.
exactly what you're talking
I
about.
know what
Yeah.
tweet that is.
Yeah. Oh my god. But yeah, she like professes her undying love for Lelouch.
I also
Mhm.
like that the girl who claims to be like his betrothed is totally down with this imperial concept of just we're gonna have as many wives as we want, and
Well, I guess because
we're okay with that. I
wasn't she
chuckled.
Chinese though?
No, she's Japanese.
No, she's
Oh, she's
Japanese.
Japanese.
There is
Kaguya-
they do stop a wedding from happening though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's the last remaining member of the six houses of Kyoto. So she's
she
like a very traditional Japanese girl.
she said like, I'm glad that you kept him happy. It's like, what the hell did that mean? Like, she said this to C2, like, I'm glad you kept him entertained.
It reminds me of like the scene in Sopranos where like Carmela's like, I viewed all the Gumars as like a form of masturbation for Tony.
Yeah, but keep in mind that Carmela, she pulled her games too with not just with Furo, but with Musto, the handyman.
Oh
Yeah. And then she screwed that university administrator just to get Meadow into Columbia. So
no, that was AJ's high school English teacher actually.
Oh, that was AJ. Yeah, so he doesn't fail. Yeah, which is a total corn.
The
plot
things
line.
you do for love.
Yeah, that's like a total like that's like a bratty MILF plot line right there. Like my son's failing.
Yeah.
The high
But
school. Anyways,
yeah.
not that I watch any of this. Not that I watch any of this.
Yeah.
I'm scared. I've read Psychology Today. Had a paper on it. Anyways, go ahead.
But, cycling back, speaking of the whole Shirley debacle, I'm really glad how they elevated who became my favorite character when I first watched season 2, Jeremiah Gutwald.
Yeah.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
so good in this
His return
season.
was great.
Yes, he is like the best like chivalrous character.
Was it
I think
Marianne's
in
night?
multiple
Or
things. So she was one of Marianne's knights.
yeah.
Which is why he's so loyal to the royal family. So when he finds out that Zero Lelouch was Marianne's child, he switches sides immediately because his loyalty was to Marianne. And so, and he lives out his loyalty to the end. He is the plan truster of the entire show.
But keep in mind, though, that this all sows seeds of dissent and suspicion among the Black Knights because they're like, how is Zero pulling off these Jedi mind tricks? Because they don't know
like
that he has Geass. Yeah.
How did he convert like a Britannian to a Britannian spy and two Britannian like aristocrats into being on his side. And I really like the plot line of like the Black Knights getting more and more suspicious until finally like Schneisel blows the lid, which Schneisel is just like a really good
villain
antagonist in the season.
He's a really he's a well set up villain.
And his plan probably like makes the most sense of all of the villain's plans. Like if I have a space station that I can launch nukes from it, and I'm going to force everyone to get along or I nuke them. It's like it is literally just Emperor Palpatine, but like less self-serving than Emperor Palpatine. But it's really good, and I think he's an interesting character because he's also just like he's another one of these. I want to like preserve the status quo and make the status quo peaceful, much like the Emperor. He just, instead of killing God, he's just gonna if you misbehave, I'll nuke you. Which I like, Lelouch's rejection of this all, of saying like this is not life. Life that is unchanging is not life.
Agreed.
And, which is a really good overall theme for the show, and that makes his final plan so much better because it's like here's a way to achieve peace without getting rid of what makes life life.
We'll get to that, but
because that argument happens twice in the show, at least in this season, both with like his dad, but also versus the whole
Schneisel.
question of with Schneisel. It's just like, okay, so we can kill God or the collective unconsciousness and basically do the what's it called in Evangelion where everyone's just mush. If we just erase the collective unconsciousness and now everyone is neither dead or alive, and everyone
sort of like that Stady Plant rant. That
kind of. And so like that's the question that gets raised is like, okay, so what are we gonna do once the world as we know it is functionally gone? Is like that's not really life because now we haven't stuck. Now we're permanently in the past, and it's explicitly even called out to be the past. It's just like, okay, Charles the Emperor wants to be in the past. You want to be in the future. Or Lelouch wants to be in the future, and Schneisel wants to just uphold the status quo.
Schneisel kind of reminds me because the way he's at the one end charming, but and seems chivalrous and fair, but also deeply sadistic and driven. He kind of reminds me of Griffith a little bit. I got Griffith vibes.
Well, he is kind of like Griffith now that I think about it. I've never made that
hair.
I think they both have a similar disposition. I saw someone say they're not watching Evangelion on a principle, which made me laugh because I think most people who watch Evangelion these days just don't get it. That it's just so that's a different tangent.
But anyway, but then so in the first few episodes, like the first 5 to 10 episodes, it's then like Lelouch is again more ensconced into this mask, this double life, which then comes up with the rant with his father, Charles the Emperor, where it's like, everybody wears masks. You can't really have a world where nobody lies because that would just destroy everything. And in other words, and this is what makes Code Geass on par with Lane and Berserk and other anime, is that they do really take like the Jungian concept of the persona and the collective unconscious to heart and make it into a geopolitical apparatus where it's like Lelouch is wearing masks all the time, but he's like, well, everybody does this, and we can't have civilization without the persona. And lo and behold, the plan by Charles and then later his mother that is in this Akashic realm. They literally call it the field of Akasha. is that they're
Yeah.
using
Sort of Akasha, yeah.
sort of Akasha. They're using the collective unconscious of all the world soul, the new sphere, to literally reach up to the heavens and destroy God's plan to ensconce an end of history forever. Because keep in mind, a key component of Code Geass is that memory, nostalgia, but also an uncertain future are the enemies and the banes of the ruling class. Where, like, even the Japanese, they literally take a nostalgia lotus eater drug where they can LARP their, like, it's sort of like a Gossip Goblin AI edit that you see these days in YouTube shorts, where it's like literally people that take a drug to like reenact the past, where they have this like glory and national pride and nationalism. That's one enemy. The future and uncertainty and multipolarity are the other enemies of the ruling class. And so the contradiction, the sort of literally the sword that cuts the Gordian knot, the sword of Akasha, is to basically destroy the heavens, to destroy God's plan, and to instantiate a zombie-like permanence of total transparency forever. It literally is the boomer anthem of like John Lennon's Imagine. Like, imagine there's no religion, it's easy if you try, and there's no God, and there's no possessions. Like, it's like there's no possessions, there's nothing, but there's this there's like this globalist empire that destroyed God. So it's like the ultimate perversion of the Anglo mind.
Yeah.
You know, like,
it is funny too how they finally accomplished like, you know, a so-called like multipolar world in Code Geass, because it only comes about because somebody conquers the entire world.
Yeah,
like,
pretty much. Yeah. Yeah.
Like he has to conquer the whole world just to give it all up so the world can be ruled by the UN.
Yeah, it's like Lelouch is like Prester John.
I will conquer Japanese the world people in the name of, you know, neoliberalism. I must rule the world to make it gay. You know, like I've conquered Earth for democracy. It's just like, oh, come on now. Let's be honest.
I'm actually writing an article currently called Siri Chinmoy Globalism, because Siri Chinmoy, he used to do these world peace sites. You know, always used to like do these meditation sessions with leaders at the UN. And he did one in 1990. When I was born, I was in my mother's womb. He dedicated Niagara Falls as a world peace site. And he had this belief that there are these places within the earth that are like what he called these flower blossoms of peace, these gifts to humanity, that he would dedicate to then, like, you know, pray for world peace and pray for Krishna to come down and, you know, right all wrongs. And so I have this like article I'm, you know, writing called Siri Chinmoy Globalism. It's sort of like that, like New Age globalism. It's sort of like you have like different rival spiritualities where like you have Lelouch is very much like, you know, the history is important. God's plan should be maintained. And people need to have an individual voice. They need to have access to the collective unconscious. They need to have their own self in order to propagate the future. Whereas Charles is like, no, we literally have to kill God in order to ensure world peace. Like, it's, yeah.
I see a funny discourse in the chat about whether Israel exists in Code Geass, and I'm pretty sure it doesn't, because there's no British Empire. In the sense of like the way there was in our history.
Yeah.
There is a map in the Middle East shown in one of the scenes, and I don't think it shows Israel, or if it does, it's very pixelated.
The Middle East is mostly conquered by Britannia by the time
anyway.
It's like if Britain just like took the Ottoman Empire for itself. It's basically like that. Yeah.
But yeah,
which would have been a way better reality, by the way.
Yes.
Or if they partitioned it way sooner. I mean, people debate over that. I don't know the exact history of it.
Well, I mean, those treaties were like designed during the war, so it's not like they're completely different or new.
Yeah, yeah. But it basically is like, imagine if the British just like took the Ottoman Empire and be like, yeah, it's ours now, it's over. Which maybe that could have been better, but like you never know. there's like fascinating like history. Like I'm not well acquainted with later Ottoman history, but there is like a fascinating like hauntological history there. Like, what if the British never divided the Ottoman Empire? What if the Ottomans could have not made a lot of mistakes that led to their imperial decline, which I guess was impossible. But yeah, basically like the Middle East is totally theirs, half of Asia is theirs. Also like
Namely Russia. Like the most interesting part is that like Russia is basically always been controlled by Britannia,
yeah.
at least in the like 20th and 21st century.
I mean, the Tsar was like related to the British, wasn't he? Like he was their cousin.
I mean, yeah. So the last Tsar of Russia is like
A cousin to King George.
Cousin? Yeah, second cousins, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at a picture of King George and the Tsar next to each other, they look identical. They look like twins.
Yeah.
And so, which I mean, is just because of why also they were all both cousins with the Wilhelm, the Kaiser, which is just that like European nobility, especially after the 1500s, like just interbreeded with Germans all the time.
Yeah.
So in fact, if you have German ancestry, like even a little bit that traces in your like European DNA profile, that traces to older than like the 1800s, it's probably because you came from an aristocratic family.
Yeah, and also like there was like by that time there was like the heavy Europeanization of Russia as well.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, so imagine like I guess in Code Geass like that trend just basically continued. There was no bullshit. I'm assuming there would be no Bolshevik revolution as well.
I don't think there was. Or if there was, it failed, and like they went to China because China definitely had like a communist revolution. It's just they decided to keep like the imperial aspect of it.
Yeah,
it's like it's very very weird how China ended up.
It's like Logo Daedalus' ultimate ideology.
Yeah,
yeah.
Logo Daedalus led a successful revolution in China.
Yeah, like you have like the tradition, like the tradism, but also you have like the perfection of like republicanism in China, but it's communist. Like it's like that's yeah. They still have eunuchs. It's a very but that's what I mean. Code Geass is like really one of the smartest animes there ever is. Like the geopolitical fan fiction that they're writing over this is incredible. Like the depth of knowledge you have to have of geopolitics of the 20th century is incredible. But anyway, so what happens? So China, then there is this Chinese princess that's going to get married off. The shocker, she's also a young girl, but she is her undying.
Like 11.
Yeah, she's like 11
she is very young.
Yeah, and she's getting married off to this like very creepy British aristocrat.
The first prince of Britannia.
Yeah. I believe also he gets mind controlled by Lelouch eventually.
Lelouch, yes, he does.
Yeah.
But then this knight who is like the Chinese Ronin, not Ronin. What are the Chinese? They had the Ronin was Japanese.
I don't remember the name of their like equivalent.
They had a warrior caste as well. They weren't like samurais. They were they Ronin?
No, that's Japanese. Someone will eventually correct us. But he's a man whose life was spared by this girl, and he is determined to defend her and her honor. He basically interrupts the affair, but also like she's not really in charge because she's just a child, and also the system is very much like, well, we don't really need her. We just need the system to.
We need the office, yeah.
Yeah, we just need the office, really. Which is
fine,
right? Yeah. And so, like we also know that there have been those that had conspired with like the Chinese government in the first round because there was trying to use the diplomatic situation between Britannia and the Chinese to make things even more complicated. Because in the first season, there was an attack from like the Japanese forces that were claiming to be the Japanese in exile that were just puppets of the Chinese government, which there
Yeah.
aren't really a big unified faction anyways inside the Chinese from what we can tell.
No, because they have to contend with massive populations that hate them, like the Indians.
Yeah, like they
Well,
control
they had-
India, China, Pakistan, parts of,
almost all of Asia, basically. Everything
All
but
of
like
it,
the
yeah.
Russian parts of Asia and Japan.
Yeah.
That's all they didn't control.
Yeah,
And
they control like Cambodia.
It stated in the show that while the Chinese Federation still exists, it is the largest country in terms of population.
Yeah, but not in
by like a mile. Yeah. And so because they don't really have like mass produced nightmares, which are like the defining tech of the universe. Like whoever has the best nightmare type technology are the best, So yeah, but what was I gonna say?
No, but you know what's crazy is that the Indians actually have, unlike the Chinese economic miracle, the Indians actually managed to develop more advanced technology than the Chinese in this world.
Yeah, in fact, they are the tech wing of the Chinese Federation, and they're the main ones backing the Black Knights, both in like helping them,
the arms dealers,
but also to like break up the Chinese Federation.
It's like what Elon Musk wants to do with India.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's India that gives the Black Knights refuge after they're all like exiled from Japan.
Which is another so then this is a crazy part, which is another like point about the persona and the mask. So Lelouch tries to cut this deal with the Britannians. Well, I mean, by which I mean Zero tries to cut this deal where they get immunity to go to this. I think it's like an iceberg.
It's an artificial island.
It's an artificial island ship that 1 million Japanese people get to go on freely because they all dress at the same time as Zero, which I don't know how they got. I guess the Indians mass produced Zero costumes for them, but they all got to go on the ship because they were all Zero in that moment. And they all got to go on this huge vessel.
All using the legal technicality that, like, well, per our laws, we only sentence them to exile, and we don't want to kill all the Japanese because we still don't have a good look after, the accidental chaos going off, and all the Japanese should die.
Yeah, after Yuffie, like, mass casualty, the Japanese, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What do they call it? The Massacre of the 11s? Is that what they called it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So all the 11s get to go on this island ship. Imagine 1 million Japanese people just like dressed the same going on a ship. And it's like, that's how they do this like weirdo technicality. Which in a way is kind of like a very like British Empire thing to do. So, that was a crazy part of it. But
well, it also shows that he can, rally that many men, women, and children to his cause.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was like I think the show said it was over 1 million people, which is a lot of people.
But then immediately, the Black Knights start causing trouble in China and India, like almost immediately. Yeah, what happens with that? So if you could explain further about like what the Chinese angle here.
So like essentially. Lelouch changes his plan to get the Chinese Federation involved in his crusade against Britannia more directly.
The Federated States, or what is it called? The United States of the Global South, or something. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just the Federated States of.
Chinese. Yeah, it's just China. Yeah, though they call it Chinese Federation most of the time. But like. So, and his plan is to essentially like cause a coup in China and have them break up into a bunch of other countries that will eventually join his alliance, which is literally just the UN. He creates the UN and eventually gets the remaining free states of Europe of the EU to join. But the way he does this is he tries to like kidnap the Empress, who is trying to be married off by the high eunuchs, to Britannia. And it's funny, the Chinese military launches their own coup concurrently with all this happening. And eventually he uses that coup to, you know, succeed in this plan. And also just he records a conversation with him with the Yai eunuchs saying they like don't care about the Empress and they don't care about the people and the people are insects. So who even cares? Which
And he got what's the guy, the media guy?
yes, Diethard.
Diethard, yeah, to broadcast it to all the plebes. And like,
so so there's mass uprisings, and eventually some parts of the former Chinese Federation get taken by Britannia in the chaos. Yeah. But like the majority of it, they all become their own independent states that join the UFN, they call it, the United Federation of Nations. But it's just the UN. It operates exactly like the UN, and it's like the wet dream of the people who founded the UN, where
the Code Geass wet dream. Yeah.
They all disband their own militaries.
Yeah.
And they
no more military, no more your vote is totally predicated on population, and we're going to contract a third party to be our defense.
Which of course is the Black Knights.
Of course.
And they serve as like the UN's military that can only be sent into conflicts by a unanimous vote of the Security Council. And of course Japan is the chair of the Security Council. And Japan puts forth a resolution to free Japan by contracting the Black Knights. And that's when they invade Japan to liberate it from Britannia. And launch
like what they wanted America to be to the words of the UN in like the 1990s and the 2000s. Yeah. But that's not working out so great.
No.
And it doesn't work out so great now.
It doesn't work out in Code Geass. Because as they fight Britannia, eventually Suzaku learns the lesson that actually the means can justify the ends, and that this
and that's based
this moralizing about I have to change things through the system only is kind of stupid. After he launches a nuke because of his Geass. Which they call flayas, but they're just nukes. They're just nukes. They're
really cool nukes.
Yeah, they're nukes that like just create they almost work like a black hole. Yeah, they basically like black hole a spot, and he uses it during the battle.
There's no radiation. There's no radioactive fallout.
No.
There's no radiation.
There's radiation. There's explicit reference to.
There is.
There is.
I think in the first, in one of the and I think it's in the first. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but like there's a reference. I think either to plutonium or uranium between our sociopathic scientist friend and the other engineer. But it may not be related to the Freyas. I could be wrong. I just remember that being mentioned.
Yeah, and Lelouch thinks Nunnally is killed in this explosion, and so basically Lelouch kind of has a mental breakdown because of this, because his whole reason for doing all of this was for Nunnally. And during this, Schneisel just before this had found out that Zero was Lelouch.
Yeah.
And finds out all the secrets about Geass from Suzaku, and then goes and tells the Black Knights all of this. Yeah. And so the Black Knights turn on Lelouch, and Lelouch is ready to die. He's like, I don't care anymore. And Rollo,
there's no point.
Yeah, and Rollo sacrifices himself, even knowing that Lelouch was just using him, because
Yeah,
Lelouch
Lelouch
is
wanted
the
to
only
kill
person-
Rollo. He wanted to use him as a pawn.
Yeah,
Like he hated
especially
Rollo.
after
Actually.
Shirley, after he killed Shirley.
Yeah, yeah.
Specifically.
But then at the end, though,
And
Lelouch does find love for Rollo because Rollo's like a sad, misguided kid that was psyoped by the CIA mind control program. Yeah.
yeah, and so Rollo sacrifices himself, and that gives Lelouch like a newfound
Sense of
confidence to
purpose,
go
yeah.
and at least stop his father from enacting this plan to kill God. And him and Suzaku both go to confront the emperor because Suzaku's like, "All right, Schneisel, I'm gonna help you do a coup. I'm gonna go kill the emperor for you." And Schneisel's like, "Well, that sounds great, because the emperor calls our war for like our entire territory for our country as like a mundane affairs."
Yeah.
And so that's where we get to the whole plot we've been referencing numerous times about the sort of Akasha and killing the god who is the collective unconscious to get rid of everyone's masks and people be truly who they are, which also somehow gets rid of life and death as well.
Yeah.
They reference that like Yuffie can come back, Shirley can come back, everybody you love who's dead will now be
Your
back.
dog, when you were 12 years old, can come back.
Like, yeah,
Yeah.
My
life
cat
and death
Boots
no
can
longer
come
exist.
back. Yeah. Death and life and death become irrelevant. In other words, but also I think another inciting incident is that what really turns the Black Knights towards like an air of suspicion towards Zero Lelouch is that so the whole thing about uniting the Akashic field, the collective unconscious, there are different sites of the earth where this like spirit, the only way I could describe it is this spiritual research that goes on with Geass, with the Akashic records. There are these huge underground research facility cities, sort of like the only way comparable, like there's crystals everywhere. There's like, purple light crystals, pink light crystals. It's sort of like it really is like a hearkening to a lot of like 19th century occult schools, that there are these cities in the middle of the earth underground that you can only access through like these portals where these scientists do research on the Geass and on the Akashic records. And they change in different locations to keep them depending on who's the guardian of the Geass or whatever. And Lelouch wants to go, Zero wants to go and invade and conquer and get rid of it. And it's very similar almost to like in Resident Evil, Raccoon City, like the research facilities in Resident Evil. It's like that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It is very similar to that actually.
Yeah. And so he goes there, and keep in mind there's no military presence here because like they're just scientists, right? Lelouch,
they're like a cult, essentially.
They're what?
They're like a cult. In fact, they get called a cult several times in the show.
They're kind of like Heaven's Gate, like a cult of scientists. Yeah.
Yes, they are.
Like Heaven's Gate, yeah, without the sun setting, right?
It's just a massacre by the paramilitaries.
Exactly. So then Lelouch goes.
This is what happens if you were to like kill the Institute in Fallout 4.
Yeah. Now, imagine if the federal government discovered Marshall Applewhite in Heaven's Gate. It would be basically like, imagine like Waco, but they're all computer scientists and they all like are an actual like new age cult, right? So Lelouch like slaughters like women, children because their families are staying there. And this is
they're using children as like for Geass experiments. That's why there's children there.
It's sort of like Shinrikyo were using children with like the mind control helmets, if you remember that.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's basically like CIA MK Ultra children, which like that one woman who claims that she was kept in cages or whatever by the CIA, like that, right? They're all like Geass children, right? They're like basically children of Synodon. They're like going to the Synodon Geass school. So they all get massacred. Rollo, redacts all of his fellow kids that are part of the Synodon CIA mind control Geass program. And I'm like loving these metaphors, but I'm loving this. So,
and of course, I think it's also important to note that like not every person who has this gift, they don't have it exactly the same way. So like Rollo has the Geass, but like he alters people's perception of time to think as if time has stopped.
Yeah,
and he can only do it for like 5 or 6 seconds.
And
it's massive energy expenditure on Rollo.
The Emperor has Geass as well, and his Geass is to rewrite people's memories.
Yeah.
And then Marianne, Lelouch's mother, also has Geass, but her Geass is that she can put her consciousness in someone else. So essentially, she can do a body jump. And it's even
Lelouch, of course, is
she could return to her body, and like that. Theoretically, they could put her consciousness back in her body, and she could live like almost like a zombie.
Yeah, yeah, and that's the whole point, is that both Charles and Marianne, they have like this boomer world order thing where like you can just live forever and just become a nothing, and you could be like a bodiless sleeper forever. And this is going to solve like world peace. Like, imagine all the people living for today.
That really is like an apt comparison to what they want. Is that like they took John Lennon's "Imagine" to heart and are like, I'm gonna kill God, so there's no God, just like John Lennon told me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's no possessions, no tomorrow, there's just nothing but the present. Like, that's literally like everyone could just watch Netflix forever. They could like watch. Like, they can, they don't even have to go to the DMV to get their license renewed anymore. They could just like watch like either CNN or Fox News or Netflix forever. Like, that's literally like their idea of heaven. That's like, imagine like a boomer heaven where like mortgages are always stable. There's inflation.
Your 401k always gets higher.
A time traveler. A time traveler had Pontius Pilate listen to "Imagine" by John Lennon.
Exactly. Yeah. It's like, imagine all the like the like strange weird lore around Christ and Pontius Pilate. It's like that. It's like, and like there's no reverence for anything, and everyone can live happy by erasing their minds. It literally is like the television universe as well. Like, notice how there's not like a lot of internet here. It's like people.
Yeah, they reference the net a lot, but like it's never shown what that looks like.
Yeah. People are still watching television in this world.
Yeah, I mean, like this came out in what, 2008?
I believe. Yeah, I believe that's right. And it's supposed to take place in 2018, which is always so funny to me.
Yeah, that's like kind of like
2018.
yeah, it's like Steins Gate, 2013 forever. Do you know what I would give to live in 2008 forever? No, not maybe like 2003. I would live in 2003 forever, but not like, I wouldn't want to live in 2008 forever. But
I think 2008 would be fine to live in forever because Halo 3 had come out. So that's my. Maybe 2007. 2007
was a peak year of existence.
It was.
It was, man.
First year high school. Went downhill.
Then it all went down. Yeah. It all went down. 2000. I would live in 2007 forever.
It's funny. You're like, oh yeah, dude, high school, and I'm like, yeah, I was 6 years old in 2007.
I was in middle school, Geo. Like,
I was playing with Star Wars: The Clone Wars action figures.
You were eating Dunkaroos and playing Clone Wars.
Clone Wars wasn't even out yet, actually. So actually, no, I was playing with Revenge of the Sith action figures.
Oh man, can you imagine? I could just like drink Capri Sun and eat Dunkaroos and play Revenge of the Sith forever.
And this is why LaRouche would just kill you.
He was like, "Yo,
he would just tell you to like end your life." He'd be like, "You need to go.
You need to go, buddy."
He would literally do the meme where he's just like, "Oh, I want to live like I want to be young forever and eat Dunkaroos until I die." You are an enemy of Christ.
I don't mean just banning your account. Me and 500 other Black Knights with La Raja nukes. We're gonna bury
gonna
Wouldn't
kill
you
you.
take 500 Lelouch nukes? What's the acronym? Laraja? The nukes. What's it called?
Oh, Freya's or Frasia's.
Yeah,
Freya.
Me and 500 Black Knights were gonna take 100 Freya nukes, bury you in the dirt.
Oh.
That's so good, man. I hope our dear patron's getting his money's worth on this one.
Yeah, I hope he got his. I hope you got.
We're not going to disclose the amount, but
your payout number. I hope you got your money's worth, buddy. We're rooting for you.
Oh my god! But so anyway, so this massacre of these cult scientists, these occultic scientists, right? Like it's like a cynic lyric, you know, it's like a song from Cynic, like a cult science. It's like listening to a Voivod album. Like that's what seriously starts to, like, this is where the Black Knights that tell when they're doing this super secret special operation of massacring these scientists in this underground research facility city. They're like, yeah, you know, Lelouch is crazy, right? You know what he got us to do? Like, no mercy whatsoever, not even for the children. And this is what leads people down the road of like, oh, why are we like, why are we baddies? Are we the bad guys? Why are we following this masked guy that can strangely persuade people? Why are we doing this? And then also it's discovered that Lelouch kind of really doesn't care about Japan all that much. Like,
no, Japan is just a means to an end. Yeah, Japan is merely a means to an end.
Yeah, like even Chinese nationalism, like the knight that protects the young girl, like even like China, like any form of nationalism is really just a means to an end for Lelouch. Like he's like, okay, that's a thing we have to deal with, and it's a good motivation for us. But it's like at the end of the day, like I'm gonna be emperor. I don't really care. Like I'm like my plan supersedes any form of like petty nationalism. Like it's a very weird form of like loyalty, and of course, like his ultimate loyalty, which leads him to a lot of blunders, is Nunnally. But then lo and behold, Nunnally becomes like not like Nunnally essentially betrays him too, which comes up later. Like she doesn't see that everything was for her. Like, you know.
Yeah, she tragically doesn't realize it until literally the last possible moment.
Yeah.
And then it becomes like clear that like everybody has this oh shit, that's what he was doing moment. You know, at the end. I guess this is getting into, so after he thwarts
your damnation will be eternal. Yeah.
After he thwarts his dad's plan, you know, to kill God by just literally mind controlling God, by the way. He uses his mind control powers on God to save God. Very interesting way to resolve it.
Very. He's like, hey, my father wants to kill you, man. Like, you better come down. You better rapture this guy right now. You
know. And so after that, Suzaku and Lelouch make a pact to come up with a plan to enact world peace in their own way, where both the world is at peace, but also change is allowed to happen. Like we aren't stuck. History, the wheels of history still move.
Yeah.
And it starts by Lelouch revealing that he did not die, because most of the world thought he died in Japan during the war for where Britannia took over Japan. He reveals to the world that not only did he not die, but he killed the emperor. And that Suzaku is now his personal knight, and he is emperor now. And you know, everybody there is like, "Oh, this is so silly! Please stop playing this joke." And so he uses the Geass on them to make him recognize him as emperor. And so his immediate decisions after becoming emperor are to abolish the aristocracy, abolish nobility except for himself. He keeps himself emperor.
He becomes labor government.
Yeah, he goes and he destroys the mausoleum of emperors, like literally destroys the graves of every emperor, wipes away their history, and
It's like the
starts
Morgenthau
to
plan.
yeah, and he makes numbers be on equal status as regular Britannians, and he does all of this to make it seem like
Authoritarian egalitarianism.
Yeah.
he does this to make it seem like he's liberalizing, so he can join the UN he started, and so he
It's
goes to
literally like
join the UN.
Rousseau. It's like literally Rousseau's like, we're going to force you to be free.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
And so he goes to join the UN, and they're obviously skeptical of him. At least the people who know the truth about Geass, which includes the chairman of the UN, who's Kaguya, and it turns out to be a ruse. He kidnaps all of the UFN members,
Yeah.
and then starts a war with the UFN. And Schneisel, meanwhile, has created a literal space station to launch nukes from, because he has his own plan similar to Charles, where he is trying to create world peace, but also like stagnate history. And the way he wants to do this is threaten everybody with nuclear weapons. Think the Death Star, but if the Death Star like sent down nukes at a planet to just bomb it until there was
From
nothing
orbit.
left.
Yeah, like orbital nuke cannon. Yeah.
And so, after Lelouch defeats Schneisel because Schneisel doesn't actually have the heart to win, there's a great bit about where Lelouch says, like, you only play games you can win, and your, like, willingness to die when you lose is exactly why you lose.
Yeah.
And he ends up taking control of the station, and that's how he defeats the Black Knights. And he has a really great speech where he's like, "I am now your only ruler. Obey me, subjects. Obey me, world." Which is like one of my favorite scenes from the entire show. In fact, I posted it back when Trump did kidnapped Maduro. I posted that clip and I said, "This is now Donald Trump's foreign policy in the year 2026." How little I would realize how well that would age over time.
It's like Lelouch is posting Matt Forney tweets about himself, but instead of Trump.
Yes.
We own the world. We just let you exist. Like that's literally,
You're our slaves now. We own you.
The York bread. Yeah. You're our slaves now. We own you. We are better than you. It's like,
yeah. Which and then all of this culminates in like a month later, Lelouch is like parading all his enemies, including Nunnally, who was convinced
which
by
is harkening
Schneisel.
back to what the British did to the 11s to begin with, the Japanese.
Yes, and who convinced Nunnally to be his enemy by like saying all these evil things that Lelouch has done, which Lelouch never has the heart to say he did it all for her.
Yeah.
And he's parading everybody down the street to their execution.
Yeah, like Colin, the old samurai. What's the guy's name?
Toto,
Ogi, Colin, all of them, all the former heads of the Black Knights. They're all being humiliated and paraded to their execution.
And Suzaku, who is thought to have died in this battle, is dressed as Zero and appears.
Yeah.
And runs past the Britannian defenses straight to Lelouch and kills Lelouch, which was the plan all along. Lelouch was making himself like a martyr,
a sin eater.
World. Much like Angra Mainyu, which I've noticed in a lot of Japanese media, like they have an obsession with the concept of Angra Mainyu from Zoroastrianism. Just like the idea that like all the sins of the world are placed upon one figure, and all the hatred of the world can be placed on one person.
Yeah.
And that's essentially what Lelouch does to himself, is that he becomes the object and the representation of the world.
He becomes the Girardian scapegoat.
Yeah.
Yes, to unite the world in common cause. And all the Black Knights and Nunnally all realize this as Lelouch's body descends to the ground. and not only has like a very emotional scene that I was mentioning earlier before we started the show, like every time I've watched this ending, I cried at it because I think it's just a really good performance from both Lelouch's voice actor and Nunnally's voice actor on like his death, and I think like it's just like a really well done sequence. It's
All
definitely
sins are
something.
forgiven. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because I don't think there's ever been like a show I've watched where I have like consistently cried at the same scene every time I watched it. Because it's like it's a very very good overall message, and in the way that like is close to that like secular Japanese people can get to portraying like Christ-like features and Christ-like themes in a show,
Yeah.
um, and which I really appreciate. And uh, yeah, it's definitely like just one of the greatest endings I've seen in anime. Because
Well,
ironically, that is where most anime bungle and like fall apart is the
the
endings, and it
endings.
definitely didn't
Yeah.
happen here.
Yeah, it's like I didn't like the Sopranos ending. I'm one of the few people that hated the Sopranos ending.
Really
Yeah, I didn't like
interesting.
it. No, I think like if they would have shown Tony kind of like how they showed Nookie dying in Boardwalk Empire, I think that would have been better. Because like this next season, like first of all, I hated the last season of Sopranos because it took money away from Carnival. There was supposed to be a third season of Carnival, but then they're like, no, we're gonna have this abomination where like everything falls apart. Like I think if they would have stopped the Sopranos, um, when like they're all like outside of Satriel's and they're all like goofing off and palling around, like I think that would have been the perfect ending. I think the ending of season 4, like. But anyways, so the thing is, like Lelouch says that I have to basically become this representation of all sin, of all hatred, and
I have to basically become secular Hitler for this
yeah,
world.
yeah. I have to like be the object of all hatred to them redeem the world in a sort of like weird. I want to see inversion of Christ, but there's definitely like a Christ-like element to it. But then he also says that now, Suzuka, like you will have to do the same sacrifice of splitting your identity that I did. Now you will take up the mantle of Zero and the nobody.
Well,
The nobody,
in fact,
essentially.
he is simply just a mask. Like
Yeah,
Suzaku doesn't get to live his life as Suzaku anymore. He is no longer Suzaku. He is Zero.
yeah.
He is nobody else but Zero. And yeah, I mean, like I think it's Christ-like in the sense of like getting into like penal substitutionary atonements, and just like
Mhm.
that Christ died for our sins. It is in that way where he is a martyr in that sense,
Right.
which I think it is more directly influenced by Zoroastrianism and
Yeah,
the
there's not
concept
the
of
same
Angra.
pathos of Christ's sacrifice. There's not the
Yeah,
pathos of like you are
it,
sympathizing
it
with him. Yeah. It's
it,
the
it's
opposite.
it's more like Angra Mainu, which like I've seen so many anime have like an obsession with Angra Mainu. Like a really good example is the Fate series, where like literally Angra Mainu it gets summoned as a servant in this reality, and like corrupts the Holy Grail.
Yeah.
Um, and so yeah, so that is more of what it is, but even in the Agra Mainu story, you see elements of like Christ and what he did for the world. So
Yeah.
which there are some Christian thinkers that think like Zoroastrianism was essentially like a perversion of the Jewish the Jewish prophecies about the Messiah and Christ. So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And like, isn't that like what Chesterton wrote about? Like Christ went to hell and he became an atheist in a weird way, and then I know I'm butchering it. It's been a while since I read that one book by Chesterton, but
I'm not too familiar with Chesterton, so I
yeah,
wouldn't be the guy to answer this question.
I would not either.
yeah, but like it's sort of like the lack of pathos. So it is kind of like Ungermino. Like it is Like Lelouch wants to
Mhm.
be hated. Like he wants to be the representation
Yeah.
of evil in the world by betraying people, by betraying his cause. But that's, lo and behold, that's like the plan. That is like,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
what actually unites the world and gets what essentially a lot of what Charles and Schneisel and really every character in the show wanted.
They're rushing to
Um,
the end of history. Yeah, yeah,
yeah, but history gets to continue, which is
yeah.
one of the nice things about the sequel movie is showing that like even though the world is generally at peace, like history continues. Like there is a conflict in that show, and it isn't just like, oh, the Britannians are back or something. It's like a
It is like
weird,
Star Trek. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, it's like it's a random country that like existed the whole time, but we just didn't talk about it because it's so tiny, and they're just like a mercenary country.
It's like
And
Planet
it's like,
X Nibiru. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
yeah.
which
Um,
I do kind of recommend watching the sequel movie just if you want like to if you just want some more little Code Geass content. I will warn you though, because a change because it's based off the recap movie timeline, and one change you'll be very confused by in the sequel movie, which I was confused by because I didn't watch the recap movies first. Shirley does not die in the recap movie timeline for some reason. It's a very strange choice that I don't agree with at all. But they basically remove all of the elements of the Shirley story from the recap movies. Like she's
That's
in the
odd.
story, but she is not. She's practically not even a character.
I don't
She
want
just
Shirley
kind
to
of.
die because I want Lelouch to get laid. I don't know.
That's the crazy part. Even in the recap timeline, he doesn't get laid. He's
Oh
like
man.
Shirley lives and he still doesn't get laid.
What happens to Cece at to C2 at the end? Is
So
she goes back to
if you
being like
want
the
me
vampiress? Yeah.
So if you want me to spoil the sequel movie, if you don't care
Yeah,
about
go
that,
ahead.
so spoilers, but C2 gives part of her code to Lelouch, so Lelouch also becomes immortal. Lelouch did not actually die at the end of
Mm.
Code Geass. In fact, and that's why she says at the hey, she says, "Isn't that right, Lelouch?" And that is because Lelouch is alive. But he starts off the beginning of the sequel movie like for lack of a better term, retarded. Okay,
Yeah.
I literally don't know how to describe it other than like
It's like
he's like
C2 at the one
primal.
moment she forgot she wanted to die, so like the King Charles.
It's almost worse than that. Like because
Mm.
he's like nonverbal. He's like he's a nonverbal autistic kid at that point.
Oh
And
god.
but he eventually gets his memories back and he helps out. But like C2 is not fully immortal anymore. Like
Oh, I see.
she still heals from injuries, but slower. Like she could be killed theoretically.
Yeah.
So
If you like put her like if you like put her launch her into the sun, she could.
yeah,
That would do it.
essentially. But yeah, I mean, and it's kind of weird, but yeah. So at the end, her and Lelouch are like traveling the world,
Oh, sort of
and
like Tuck Everlasting, where like they're immortal, so they have to like keep or
yeah,
like the Man from Earth, like yeah,
yes, very
yeah,
similar to that. Very
yeah.
similar to that.
You don't live, you don't die, you just exist. That was when I remember we read that in school, and then we watched the movie. That like really, really hit me hard. He's like, you don't really live, you just exist. If you were like
Mm-hmm.
immortal, yeah,
Yeah.
that was great. Tuck Everlasting, that was great. That was Kino.
There's
And
always it's always immortal kind of stories are always interesting in that regard because you never know what the consequences are going to look like. And because each world has its own world building rules it has to follow. And like Tuck Everlasting, it's always funny with technology because it's like, how does this work in a world of mass digital surveillance and things like that? It's just like, so how are we doing this? It's the same thing with like even campy movies will do it where they're like, so how does this work and death becomes her, right? Like you're gonna live forever, but also you're not.
yeah,
And so anyways, but like for this story, I didn't find the dialogue between Zero or Lelouch and his friend about like reforming the system is a very interesting one to me, because it's like we have this debate all the time online about where you can do it, but it's also like, well, you know, Lelouch is also like a violent revolutionary that's killed millions of people at this point.
Yeah.
You know, you don't really get to have
directly or indirectly. Yeah.
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 Exactly.
You know, it's not like anyone's doing that right now for any respective political movement. So it's not the same kind of conversation, but it is a perennial one about reform versus attacking it from the outside.
Yeah, it's like if, you know, all the guys who LARP on like the timeline about like, you know, we can't vote our way out of this, you know, like let's have a political revolution, like we're serious, you know, and we're just like people like, you know, trying to get clicks on or on X.
People like posting on Telegram, yeah.
Yeah. And so, you know,
my favorite tweet of all time on that issue is someone posts a picture of the Nuremberg rally and he says, "The time for political solutions is over." And it's just like, well, what is that rally?
Yeah, I saw a funny tweet related to that where it was like, we can't vote our way out of this, says a guy who really admires a 1930s politician who got to power because of voting. It's like, and we all know who.
Like that's what I mean. Like, imagine if like they were serious instead of just getting like a BX thread on Twitter after like being Telegram exposed by the federal government.
I think it's interesting how the show resolves the debate where they say like both of you are kind of wrong. Like Lelouch ends up joining the system, because he becomes emperor to reform Britannia, but Suzaku like is straight up like ready by the towards the end of the show. I mean, he's helping Prince Schneisel try to launch a coup. He's helping Lelouch launch a coup, and then he ultimately kills Lelouch, who just completely reformed the system. He becomes the representation, Zero, his character, who was the revolutionary.
In like a wrestling storyline where like Zero gets put over by Lelouch the heel, you know, like it's like certain like. Oh, go ahead. Yeah,
I think I was going to say, I think it comes to the show comes to the conclusion ultimately that there is like a balance between outside forces changing the system and changing the system from within. You know, because like, you know, there's that really good dialogue between Suzaku and Colin about like, you know, what about people who can't join the system? And Suzaku retorts with, well, what about people who have no choice but to join the system? Because both situations exist.
Yeah.
And so like the show like kind of reconciles that by saying like both have their valid points and both have a place.
Yeah, it's like certain conspiracy theorists, they think like, you know, like Lelouch is kind of like Trump, and that they're gonna like put in JD Vance as like Zero, you know, like they're gonna like, you know, they're gonna rug pull Trumpism to put in JD Vance, you know, like
which would be really funny, but I you know, obviously I don't think that's really what's going to happen. I mean, if we're talking about what we think 2028 will be like, it's going to be a competitive primary between Rubio and Vance.
Yeah.
Well, Rubio had said that if Vance announces he's not running.
Wait, really? I didn't know that.
That just happened like 2 or 3 days ago.
That's really disappointing because a friend of mine, I posted on Twitter. He made like a fake menu of like anti-Vance polemics from a Marco Rubio perspective, and it's actually really funny. I'm trying to find it. Oh yeah. Like appetizers. Vance is Malusian. 2. Rubio is descended from Queen Isabella. 3. Vance personal. I can't say that word. Lincoln Riley.
Oh yeah,
but
you showed me a
yeah.
picture of this, and I was like, "Wait a second, what the hell am I reading for the first 3 seconds?"
Yeah, Rubio
Yeah,
in the primaries, he like takes out like 4chan, like like Twitter, like Rubio like takes like meta prime infographics about like JD Vance and Peter Thiel. Like it's
yes. Well,
uh,
he also pointed out to me a very interesting article JD Vance wrote in 2016 called "Obama and Me."
yeah.
And it was basically him talking about how he was sad about Obama leaving political office because he related to Obama on a personal level.
My friend Obama. You know?
Yeah, like
Yo,
it was
Misha Vance.
I was reading it and it was like just very strange, like
Yeah.
a very like wow, JD Vance has come a long way since then. He's a very different person.
What
Um,
has he?
I mean, I'm of the opinion that like political
Maybe. I'm
classes
joking.
don't completely just like change only for cynical reasons. And I think
Yeah.
JD Vance is like he's a young enough guy where like I could see his politics like radically changing. I mean,
True.
I
How old was he in 2016?
I think he was in his like late
Mid
20s.
mid 30. Well, he's what, 40?
Is
How
he
old is he?
40? I thought he was like 39. I'm not gonna lie.
Hold on.
No, he's like 42, 43.
He is 40. So yeah, he would have been 31 10 years ago.
Oh, there you
Okay,
go.
yeah. And I do see
Guys,
like
there are
his
random Twitter users that get one-shotted by an ideology when they're like 45. Like it happens.
It does
yeah,
happen.
like, and JD Vance has this change has been over the course of like many years. Like people don't realize like JD Vance as early as like late 2020 was talking like how he talks now.
Yeah.
So I totally believe that he has changed. I am somewhat convinced by like pictures of him with his family. He always looks like he's like just frustrated and upset, and that he like, he really shouldn't hate his kids because they are his kids, even if they are, how they are. But like
Are you
he
saying
does
he's
look like
expressing some regret about his choices?
yes, yes, I do think he looks like he has genuine regret for his choice in wife and so
No, I don't think that at all. I think like Usha Vance.
You know, even if he thinks that, you'll never hear that'll never get said publicly.
yeah, no, honestly, I don't think I do think I am of the cynical perspective of like Richard Spencer though, that like suddenly his wife is going to become Catholic in like 2027 or 2028.
Yeah, that's a
Out of
possibility.
nowhere.
No, the reason I say that is because like you guys are gonna hate me for mentioning, but like speaking of Richard Spencer and his alleged partner, there was that one take by Spencer's partner that that like Usha Vance like basically created what JD Vance is right now. Like she was like the striver, like upper middle class striver girl, and like he was sort of like kind of like a hick, and he like didn't like she like took him on as a project sort of thing. And obviously it's paying off.
Wait. Are you saying that a woman found some half decent looking white guy and said, I can fix him?
Yeah, basically.
Oh my God.
I could teach him how to use cutlery.
Presses.
I could teach him how to use fancy rich people cutlery and all that stuff.
Oh,
Well,
man.
that is like a genuine like
Stop the
I just
presses.
had a
Woman
brain
thinks
blast.
she can fix man. News at 11.
That is like a brain blast moment for people like Richard Spencer's alleged partner, because like women always think that like their takes are like novel and unique because they hadn't heard it before themselves. Like I've encountered this with so many women where if they haven't heard a take before that they come up with, they think that they came up with it. Even when it's like actually like all of us already knew that.
Well, my favorite
yeah.
lately has been apparently Alex Karp and Teal invented ontology. What? Yeah, so there was an article talking about certain forms of basically it's just like ontology, a form of philosophy popularized by Alex Karp and Peter Thiel. And it's just like ontology's been around a lot longer than these two,
100
but
years
okay.
at least. Yeah. Well, in Husserl, like even before Husserl, like that's a crazy take. That was like when they tried to say like accelerationism was just like far right, like
Was just Landian.
09, yeah, like just like this terragram, like it's like doesn't have any like history within left-wing thinking. Like it was I remember like these very strange articles about accelerationism.
It came
like,
from the left. What are you talking?
Yeah, like they were like trying to think like accelerationism just means like siege memes.
Be
like
gay, do right-wing crime.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
When James Mason speaks, that's accelerationism.
Apparently.
Like that, no, but there were articles about like totally ignoring like Semic or whatever the two authors were that wrote that original paper on accelerationism, like Alax, like or the history of the CCRU, which wasn't like this was like before, like this is decades before.
Some of us are still Marxists, Nick. It's that never gets old for me.
Like this was like decades before Nick Land became like a boomer neocon plan truster. Like this is like Mark Fisher, Sadie Plant, like
Land has had such a weird political evolution. It's very strange. I don't even know how someone. I think that goes to kind of like the point I was making about JD Vance. Is I mean, like, you don't think like political actors like can actually change their political views. Like, look at Nick Land.
Nick Land disavows half the things he wrote in Fanged Numina, and he won't talk to you about it. But he'll have no problem being like,
Nick Land. Yeah.
No. I mean, no, I won't either. But it's just like. He's just like, well, I really disavow kind of like half the things I've written in the past. Like most of what's in Fang Newman, I won't talk to you about publicly. But like, I will tell you about how Elon Musk needs to colonize Mars because like we can't let obese third worlders inherit the Earth.
Well, like Vincent Lai on Substack gets very close to asking Land about his old work, though.
Obviously, he said something very strange today where he said never get so racist that you forget that like liberal white women are the worst people on the earth.
That's an old tweet of his, right? Like that he said that years ago on I think on like his old outsideness account.
Interesting. I never saw that tweet.
Because he used to have a different Twitter account. Yeah, but it was like never get so racist that you forget the fact that like white liberals are the worst people.
It's so weird, like hearing him say that, especially like having read like Dark Enlightenment and some of his more like alt-right type work. Just hearing him say that just feels very strange.
Yeah, that is very, very strange, but anyways, getting back on topic.
I mean, like, I still think out of all the things he's written in terms of like his more recent work, like recent quote unquote, but like, I still tell people like The Cracker Factory is required reading.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but the thing about Code Geass is that between Schneisel and Emperor, like the King Charles, like
Schneisel, Charles, I mean, everyone is playing a very distinct archetype about how to be a revolutionary.
Yeah, but what I mean is that there is sort of like a hermetic Gnostic principle of as above, so below. Like to Charles, his whole thing is on an ethereal level, on a spiritual level, we need to bring the whole thing down. It very much is like if you've read like the more like crazy schizo out there interpretations of, say, the Pisces Sophia from Gnosticism, where it's like, I am, I'm gonna like destroy this whole thing on a very out there spiritual plane, and that will usher in global sameness forever. Whereas Schneissel's like, no, he's like Aristotle pointing down, whereas like Plato's pointing up. Like Schneisel is very much worldly power will achieve the end of history. if I just like rule the world hard enough, it's like, who cares about like, all this stuff about Geass and the Akashic records, like all that's irrelevant to like true, real, gritty political power that can bring about the end of history. And I think like that's, and of course like Lelouch is like cutting in between both of those worlds. It's like very interesting, like this tripartite dialectic that's going on. It's like on the axis mundi of like above and below. And like Lelouch is like right in the center of the tree, which I find is very interesting.
I do appreciate the fact also from a writing standpoint that like the whole high school shit, which annoyed the ever living tar out of me in the first season, actually makes way more sense. Because it's like, of course, we're going to be based back there. Like we had Lelouch's memories erased. I was texting because I was rewatching it today, and I was texting Onizuka here. I was just like, oh man, like the Knights of the Round are at the high school. I'm like, it just blow my head.
They have
off. I'm so done.
They have the negotiations back at the high school.
Yeah, but that's
like
after
all of world history
Tokyo has been destroyed.
Yeah, except for the high school.
Yeah,
like the academy all of world survived. History, all of world like this is the Japanese dream. All of world history, like the Federation negotiating with Britannia, like the fate of the world will be negotiated in high school. Like that's like I saw that, I'm like, yep. Like I'm like, that's crazy. There you go.
I realized recently that like I think Japan's obsession with high school it really originated with like the late 80s to early 2000s obsession with high school that was just really in all media. I mean, like you can look at American media, and you know we had so many movies and TV shows that just took place in high school. I just think Japan never got over that era, which is why like even like you'll go through. It's starting to wind down a little bit with this, but it's mostly just because of the popularity of the isekai genre in anime. But like if you look at like I'm just like pulling up Crunchyroll like right now to look at it. Like new anime from the current season, like here's an anime that takes place in high school. Here's another one. Here's another one. Another one. Another one. Another one. Another one. And so like in Code Geass just got wrapped up in that. There's a lot of shows that end up having like a high school element when it's like why. I referenced Fate earlier. Fate's another one where it's like, why does this story have to take place in high school? It makes no sense for it to. It's just like a backdrop. And so it is kind of annoying. I definitely don't find it as annoying as Prude does, but
maybe it's because like in the 80s and 90s and 2000s, like
there's just a bigger number of younger Japanese people.
Well, it could be that, but also like high school, I think maybe for them is like the last time of like true freedom. Like whereas like they have to go in, like university represents like entry into like a brutal work life that's like spiritually devoid of anything. Like the Japanese work culture that's like so infamous. Like and high school is like their last time of true freedom. Maybe it could be that. Yeah,
that makes sense.
I think it is a little bit about that. Like having spoken to someone who lives in Japan, that like like high school or sorry, I should say grew up in Japan. That like high school is like a pretty fondly looked upon part of their life, but like so it is so in America as well, but we don't still have this obsession with high school, at least not to the extent that we did in the 2000s.
Because what TV shows exist now where things take place in high school? Like
Euphoria.
I was about to say that's the only one that comes to mind is
Euphoria.
It's Euphoria. It's the only one I can think of.
Yeah. I know.
I guess Riverdale, but that ended now.
Invincible briefly took place in high school, like the first part of the first season, but like also Invincible is a comic from the early 2000s. So
yeah,
is Randall Shirker correct here?
About what?
Americans have an obsession with college now.
We have an obsession with college. I think there's been a transition to that to some extent, you could say culturally, because we did go from like Revenge of the Nerds high school to where now even American Pie was just like, graduate high school to get laid. So, but I mean, also we consider college our partying years because we're 21, we can drink. Whereas
I think it's because like your mid-20s are sort of like your teen years now, like the sort of
there's just a greater degree of
yeah.
delayed adolescence, so that makes sense to me.
Yeah, you sick freak. She's 23 years old.
I saw that on Twitter where it was like the age gap discourse, and it's like people talk about the ethics of dating a 20-year-old, and I'm like, okay, we've officially lost the fucking plot.
That happened with my dad just earlier because I mentioned that like a mutual friend of ours was interested in like setting me up with his daughter. And I was like, and then I said, oh yeah, I saw her like age on Facebook, and she's like she's like a year younger than my brother, and my dad's like, yeah, you don't want that, and I'm like, well why? Like, what's wrong with that? I'm very confused. She's like of age, so what is the problem? She's 5 years younger than me, and it's like we have this really weird obsession with like. You're still like a kid in your 20s.
For context, chat, Onizuka is 25.
Yeah. Well, will be 25.
Okay, will be 25.
Your life basically only begins at 25 nowadays.
Yeah, actually.
To some extent.
Yeah.
I think a lot of that is just due to this like delayed adolescence shit that we do in America.
Well, yeah, because
we literally
have
made it impossible, not impossible, but we really have culturally stigmatized the idea of people being together and knowing each other, like getting started with life at say like 19. It's also really fucking hard to like have a life, buy a house or anything like that young anymore. So like we keep delaying it, which is incredibly dysgenic because now we're wasting people's like most fertile years, women especially. Yeah. And so it's just like, oh, this is like a crime against nature. And it's unfortunate that this is the way that we have to live.
Yeah. That's why like all the single women at Orthodox churches are like 31. It's like,
what's wrong with that?
I will not comment any further. But
let the reader understand.
Yeah, let the reader understand. But like no, and it just is like women, both women and men have this like delayed adolescence, and
I don't know. I feel like. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Onizuka Groyper.
I was just gonna say like life. You're not permitted to like actually live the life that your parents, your grandparents, and like everybody before the 21st century lived of like getting a house in your 20s and having kids until you're at least 30 years old.
Yeah,
which just doesn't make any sense.
I know that in Canada
it's insane to such a point where like even now like my wife and I are like trying as quickly as possible, not just because it's like, oh, we're married and we can go do things. It's more like we both know that like we have a shorter amount of time to really like do the family planning stuff, so it's like actually we need to get started with all that now rather than putting it off, because you don't have time to wait, because the more you wait the more complicated it gets. And so it's just like that's the case, whereas like I do meet people both who are religious and non-religious. Like I was talking to someone who isn't a religious person. He's kind of new agey, kind of like, but not atheist, but like, they do a variety of things. Like they like Buddhist meditation, but they also like the idea of like hardcore Christian fasting. So he's like, yeah, I like the Orthodox Lent, but I'm also going to do like all these Buddhist practices. And I'm like, okay, whatever floats your boat, I suppose. But like he knew his wife when they were 20. And he basically got a lot of shit from his parents when they got married at 21 and they had a kid at 22. Like they were called irresponsible. They were called selfish and reckless. And it was like a really weird cultural thing to me, because I was like, well, your parents are like super liberal. This really surprises me that they would be kind of this anti, I guess, marriage or kind of doing it young type deal. Whereas they're like, yeah, they really wanted us to wait. Yeah.
I've noticed this, like especially like my my ex's family. Not to mention him too much, but like my ex's family thought I was like wasting my younger years wanting to get married to her. And they're very liberal people, very like hippy dippy types, and so yeah, it like liberal people especially are the ones pushing to delay it as much as possible, but even conservative people are doing it.
Yeah, but they have
I
a
just
different
noticed
reason
it.
for doing it, though. Like they have
Yes,
different cope. Yeah.
theirs is always just fiscal responsibility, but like more liberal people, they're like, well, you need to live your life first. You need to live a full life, which like
It's
just
more of like
translates to like
it's
having
more,
many sexual partners.
yeah, it's like more of like the Mammon reason for not having kids, rather like the Moloch reason for not having kids when you're young. Yeah, it's like
No, true,
yeah,
true.
yeah,
Absolute truth.
yeah. No, but like it's like
Libtards be like, you need to spend your younger years so you can sacrifice to Moloch, and conservative like boomer dads are like, son, you need to wait to get married. There's so much to Mammon you need to serve. There's so many taxes you need to pay. Son, I paid taxes for things you wouldn't believe. You need to just get back in that office there, cattle.
You need to pay at least $50,000 in taxes before you can get married. All right.
yeah, yeah. Oh my god. No, that's kind of like have you ever seen the musical for the Addams Family?
No.
No.
It's like this plot where like Wednesday is gonna get married to like a normie guy, but then like Morticia's like, no, you can't do that. Like it's terrible. Whereas like Gomez is like, I don't really care. Like it's actually pretty fine, you know. Like it's sort of like that. It's like I forget who was saying this. It might have been like Annika Chayan, or it may have been Kashuda.
Well, Kashuda would make more sense because is Kachayan married?
Yeah, I think like boyfriend. I mean, she has.
Oh, okay. Then it's probably Kashuda who said it years ago.
I think it was like
I'm just thinking of someone who's actually married who can say something on these issues.
It may have been, I think both at one point, where they said like, post-Soviet Eastern European culture, they have that thing where it's like, if you're a daughter, like your mother's gonna like explicitly say like, go and enjoy your life, don't get married, don't have kids. It's like this weird like throwback to like Soviet central planning or whatever. And it's just like, yeah, you do like have this disposition among like boomer and like older Gen X. I guess I don't know if the Gen X parents are like that with Zoomers, but like I know like boomer parents are definitely more like antinatalist in that sense. So I think it may have been in a Kachayan. But you know what I mean? Like there's sort of like, why are you gonna like rush into getting married, blah blah blah. Like it's yeah.
Yeah, when you could be, watching anime with your friends for money.
Yeah, there you go.
Why you need to send us more money so we can keep doing these episodes.
Yeah. Yeah. So you want to have a kid right away, Prude?
I'm 30. I am turning 31, and my wife is a year younger than me. Like, yes, I would like us to have kids as soon as possible.
There you go.
As the great Kristen Weston Chandler says, shut
the fuck up. Shut the fuck up.
You need to get with your wife and have children now.
You were so lucky you were out of town this weekend, you mother.
wasn't there rumors that Chris Chan was gonna have a kid with the Finnish girl?
Yes, I remember this. I don't think it turned out to be true.
No, I think it was true. No.
Thank God.
He probably can't like reproduce like all the hormones and.
That's probably true.
You will get banned from chat if you mention they're balding.
He is.
Really?
He is like. He's
Wait,
like
who's
40.
balding?
Chris Chan.
Chris Chan's like 40 now. By the way, I don't know if you guys realize that.
Yeah, we're all old. We know.
Well,
we know that it's over for like millennial internet, and that the Zoomers are desiccating corpses.
Holy shit!
On stream.
I didn't realize just how old he is. He was born in 1982.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
In the early '90s when he was a kid, he won the Sonic. Was it a Sonic
I
video
remember
game?
seeing that video. Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Oh my god! I remember on BTR we interviewed Samuel, Gino Samuel, who does the Chris Chan documentary.
Oh yes.
And like his audience hated it because like we didn't just let him talk for 2 hours. We like actually asked him questions like, God forbid, that's God forbid, right? You know?
Yeah. God forbid you interview somebody and like actually like interact with them instead of just letting them rant.
Yeah. I remember one comment in the comment section like, I'm so glad I don't have to listen to this for 2 hours because they talk over him and they don't let him talk for 2 hours. I'm like, well, that's not how streaming works. Like, I guess maybe if like it's just I don't know. I guess Lev is happy now that he's just an interview show.
I was about to say, isn't the whole point though of doing like an interview show is to actually interview people? Call me crazy. I think that's sort of required because like there are some people that like it's different. So for instance, like if you're Ben Boyce, like your whole purpose is to interview people because you want to understand their ideas in comparison to say like, well, let's talk about like the nitty gritty of a certain issue on a technical level because like that actually does require constant interruption. Whereas you know like or even Jay Burden who will ask questions, but like he also does let the audience, the guest, go on for quite a bit because it's like, well, I'm here for the guest because the interviewer is going to take this in an interesting direction, and so I'm curious as to where he's going to lead the next 15-minute tangent. You know, like every show is different.
Yeah. No, that's what I mean. Like Burden is different when you're interviewing him as opposed to like when he's on his show. Like I understand like if the interviewer like I don't know, maybe it's an ego thing, but like I remember when I was on BTR, like that did frustrate me a bit, like especially when I can't believe I'm mentioning this, but like when Styx came on, like they don't like they don't care about you or like your opinions on anything or like how it contributes to the conversation. They just like want an extension of their already existing content just on like a different platform, which is very weird. Because like,
yeah, man,
I'm going to interview
somebody. Clips.
Yeah,
I need my banger clips.
Yeah, because like if I'm going to interview something, it's like you're part of the equation, not like I'm not just like a vassal. You know what I mean? Like it's, anyways. Yeah.
I mean, I relate to that because like when I had my YouTube channel, which I can't say the name of because it would dox me.
So true.
But yeah, when I would interview people, like I mean, the whole reason I did that channel was actually literally just an excuse so I could like talk to people that I wanted to, but I like needed an excuse to talk to them. You know, like to talk to people like
that's the way to do it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like the last person I interviewed was oh shit, I'm blanking on his name, but he wrote a transgender industrial complex.
Scott Horton.
Scott Horton.
Yes.
Whoa.
Yeah. Well, Scott Howard. Yeah.
Scott Howard. Howard.
He was the last guy I interviewed before I shut down that channel. Because I was starting law school, and I did not want anybody from my law school to find that channel.
What are some other big names you interviewed?
I think the most viewed video I had was with Jim Jartris.
What's that?
Jim Jartris is a former U.S. diplomat who, I forgot which country he was diplomat to, but he goes around on the circuits of like for like anti-war circuits a lot.
He's kind of like McGregor or Scott Ritter or like
they're friends. So yes,
okay, I feel like if you interview Scott Ritter, you get put in a list nowadays.
That wouldn't surprise me in the slightest.
Another big name I interviewed was Thomas DiLorenzo, and this was before he was president of the Mises Institute.
Whoa!
A lot of the people I interviewed were in the Mises circle because I used to be really involved in that circle. But
whoa! That's crazy. Did you interview Tom Woods?
No. Tom was somebody I was trying to get in contact with. But it just never worked out with Tom.
I think Oren interviewed him recently.
Yeah, they did. They talked.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
That makes sense.
I forget. I don't even. Who would be the biggest name I interviewed? I forgot. Yeah, I'm blanking.
Of what your biggest get?
Yeah. Trying because like okay, the get like the legitimacy of the person, or is the get like the viewership?
Both? Question mark.
A little bit of both. Yeah, I mean, like
Maybe Morgoth. Maybe Morgoth.
I think my biggest get in terms of like outside political legitimacy is definitely Andrew McLuhan.
I was gonna say, yeah, McLuhan's grandson.
Like that's probably my biggest get, and in terms of like a non-political person.
Oh,
and then
I interviewed David Friedman as well. That was
you interviewed David Friedman.
Yeah, that was a very interesting interview too.
Oh my god! Why did you nuke the man? You should just embrace it.
No.
I want to listen to this.
No.
It would have been really bad.
It would have ruined it. That's career-ending shit for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're trying to get a master's or a PhD or a law degree, being like this and you're not having any kind of institutional backing is usually a non-starter.
Yeah.
Plus, like my like live streams on that channel were not great. I have a very infamous photo of a certain friend of mine who I won't name because it'll dox him if I say this, but of him pointing at like a black girl's tits on a stream and like about it.
Oh, I know who this is.
Yeah.
You can't say that.
I can't say who it is.
No, you cannot. That would that's also career-ending material right there.
Yeah. But I'm so glad that's deleted now too, because it would definitely ruin his career if that ever got out. But yeah, I mean, and like I had an interview, I had a live stream with Marcel Dumas on that channel.
Oh, nice.
Back when we were friends. No. Even though I was friends with Patrick Casey at the time, no, it was not Patrick Casey. Though I tried to have Casey on the show, it just by the time I was like gonna schedule it, I deleted the channel. So, but this was like 20,
right? Oh yeah, Dexter Layla. I know Paz in real life. I've met him in real life. I
was just on the phone with him the other day.
Yeah, he's great. I met him with Zach Brown. Yeah. But he looks exactly like you would imagine him in real life. He's great. I love that. I love Paz, man. We gotta do Timeline Earth again. That'd be great.
It was fun talking to Birdo, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. But anyways, Code Geass.
I feel like I would recommend the show.
Yeah.
But also like no problem with that.
Go ahead, Prude. Sorry.
Well, I don't know what else you want to dive into.
No, I just think like the link between a lot of these different Hermetic and New Age theories. It seems the Japanese always do gravitate to.
So okay, maybe someone in chat can give me an answer. So when they're in this like where they're trying to build the sort of Akash, or they're in this like area. Alexander stands behind those two strands of what looks like a double helix, but it is clearly made up of like desiccated corpses / souls, and I don't know what that is explicitly referenced to. I do know, however, that like again, hindsight's 2020, because I don't watch a lot of anime, so when I see something new, and I'm like, oh, I've seen this somewhere else. I wonder if it's deliberately cribbing off of this anime.
This gives a lot of Boss Baby vibes.
Yeah, exactly. It's me. It's my instead of Boss Baby vibes, it's like, oh man, this is giving me real From Software vibes. And so in the DLC for Elden Ring, the Shadow of the Erdtree DLC. You get to in ERLM, you're here to fight Promised Consort Radon, because this is where Mikola has ascended to godhood. And it's the pillar or the gate of divinity is literally just like two giant piles of corpses made of like the horn scent and other sacrifices. And it always got me thinking, I was like, oh, I saw that in Code Geass. I was like, oh man, that looks really familiar. Guy who doesn't watch anime gets really excited. I literally do have this is giving me real Dark Souls vibes. So there you go. I'll throw that against me, but that's what it reminded me of. I just don't know what the specific reference it's building off of, whether it's religious or something from Japanese folk literature. I don't know.
Yeah. I'm not sure.
I'll let chat yell at me later. I'm sure it'll happen in the comments.
There was either a Rubens or another painting depicting hell that was very similar. So it could be from that as well.
It's funny you bring up the paintings, because like I don't know if you guys sat through like the endings of each episode, and the paintings that they had on display. Yeah, I unironically I won some of those as like to pin up in my house, because like I think they're just
during the credits.
Yes,
yeah. Some of them are really good.
Yes,
they kept changing the intro music as well. Like I like the second one, but like the other ones I didn't really like.
Yeah, there's five of them, which is crazy.
Yeah.
It's actually pretty rare for an anime that only lasts 2 seasons to have that many openings.
But the point is, though, I think it's a very interesting way of weeding esotericism within geopolitics and within political realities. Like it's really one of the only shows that I was thinking of, like when Alex Jones used to go off, he's like, "We're in a war for humanity against the globalists." It's sort of like that. Yeah, we're literally in a war for all of humanity on this like very deep spiritual level. That if like I remember, Alex Jones's like Joe Rogan interview where like they got quite metaphysical about it, and I think like that's often what's missing when people like criticize both like the New Age movement and the conspiracy movement. They're often intertwined. Is that like, and certain like books that came out of that era, like the Aquarian Conspiracy or whatever, like or what's another book I'm thinking of? Is it The Secret History? Like even like if you go way back to like Ouspensky, who was a disciple of Gurdjieff, or like even a lot of the stuff that came after Blavatsky, there was always like a political dimension to Western esotericism, whereas like it's much more explicit, I think, in Asia. Like, for example, Tibet is basically a Vajrayana like theocracy, right? But in the Western tradition, you did like at the dawn of 19th century secularization, you have this like weird conspiratorial thinking around the occult, and which was always there. There was always mystery schools. But I think what goes unnoticed, and I think like a lot of people nowadays, like especially in the online right, they'll talk about like, oh, this is just like the retard right or whatever. Like they're criticizing something that is like quite ancient, which is the marriage of esotericism and the political itself. But like not in the way that we think of conventionally as like secular ideologies that have a totalizing worldview in absence of religion. It's like it's commingled together rather than ideology takes the place of how you inform your picture of the world that religion once gave you. Like in a sense, like our way of understanding politics and ideology is still very like 19th, 20th century. It's very secularized. Whereas like in other parts of the world, it's not that way. And certainly like the underlying like deep parapolitics of stuff that's even going on right now certainly isn't that way, if you catch my drift. Like, I mentioned that crazy woman in the White House. Like, but at the end of the day, the way that people, like the average normie thinks about the political does have like, like religion and the question of the soul and the question of huge conglomerations of worldly power as an expression of otherworldly power, like that seems to have disappeared somewhere around the 19th and 20th century. Like even Hannah Arendt talks about this in Origins of Totalitarianism. But now it's like, which is funny because Code Geass is like this ostensibly futuristic society that still has like the problems of geopolitics, political alliances, terrorism, so on and so forth, but isn't like totally bereft. Like in the future, there are forces that are intensely secular and atheistic, but the default assumption, while not being necessarily Christianity, is still something that is occulted. And I think that's very interesting. And I think like if you were to have like a Western cartoon that's basically a political drama, I mean, apart from like certain nodes, like nods to religion, you wouldn't have it as such. You would have maybe like some kind of like creature feature where this person has an ability, blah, blah, blah. But it would very much be almost like, you know, like when Star Wars, when like Lucas basically ruined it by saying that the midichlorians are like this physical thing.
Yeah.
It's like that. It's like it ruined it. It ruined the mystique of it, the occultism of it. And I think whereas like in anime, like here or in Steins Gate or in Lane, you have like an ability to traverse something that is ostensibly about world politics, but becomes in actuality a form of occult thinking. And I think that's what's very interesting. Whereas like Western, especially Western cartoons, like, I mean, you probably do have some cartoons that has like latent, like I know that, for example, Adventure Time had this where it was like nods to occultism and esotericism, but then you just have like, you know, oh yeah, it's about like the drama between them, or it's about like, you know, Princess Peach lesing out or something. Like it wasn't like the whole like history of like the world being made anew after a massive calamity. Like there very much is like in Adventure Time you did have like what you call like Canicle for Leibowitz type of vibes, but by the end of the show it was gone. It was just, you know, Pendleton word left and it was stupid. But yeah, so in animation you have a totally different thing. Yeah.
Well, animation gives you the safe political cover as a writer to explore these things without the consequences of dealing with the implications of like belief or even you know, libel or slander laws or whatever, you know, like, oh, I can explore these things without necessarily being accused of calling a certain group or person out for their belief system.
Yeah.
And you know what people are talking about.
Yeah, you know who I'm talking about.
Yeah, Mormons.
Yeah.
No, but like Finn X Huntress Wizard was more based anyways, maybe.
I'm actually disappointed with Prude that he didn't get the Smiling Friends reference.
Oh no, I knew I was about to say you and I are making a Smiling Friends reference that he doesn't get.
The last episode. Yeah,
I was like, I'm on board with this. Okay, but I will say if the last episode of, because I know they're releasing their last 2 episodes that they made in April this month. If the last episode is a fucking musical, this will be the second show on Adult Swim that ends on a 3rd season that ends with a musical. And I'm not saying 2 nickels is a lot of money, but it's just weird that it happened twice.
Well, that's like Metalocalypse ended in a musical. I fucking hated it. It was like
so did China, Illinois. That's what I was thinking of. I wasn't really a big Metalocalypse fan.
Actually, how many Metalocalypse seasons were there?
I thought there were 4.
There were like 4, yeah.
Okay.
The last one, it was a 20-minute musical that was stupid. It was like a rock opera.
Based? What are you talking about?
I don't know. I thought like
I agree with you.
So I'm just being a contrarian.
It could have been good, but yeah, it was dumb. I skipped through most of it. I like the concept though. I think sometimes they still tour. What's the guy's name? Small.
I can't remember now.
Well, you know he did one of the most Kino shows ever.
And what's that?
What-
Home movies.
Oh, that is
Yeah.
Kino.
Wait, really? Interesting.
Yeah, Coach McGurk. Like that's like Coach McGurk is like one of the funniest characters ever.
Yeah,
H. John Benjamin.
Brendan, that's the guy's name. Brendan Small, Brendan. But like he used his name in home videos. Like he used his name.
Yeah.
Life's me home movies. Yeah.
To the point on Western animation, it is very weird, like how a lot of Western stories do want to like demystify. Like I'm thinking of like Avatar: The Last Airbender, where like there's like a lot of mystique with the Avatar and bending, and then Legend of Korra comes around and is like, well, here's the origin story of all of that. It's like, oh,
and you got to deal with it.
And you got to deal with it.
The only Western animation that's explicitly new agey, guess.
I guess just tell us, Gio, because I'd like to get to the super chats this evening.
Xavier Renegade Angel.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Do you believe in God?
That's a complicated question. I have the controversial opinion of that show is not very good. I'm very sorry. I'm sorry to everybody.
What did you like about it?
Zoomer brain.
I just found it like incessantly annoying.
That show is the first shitpost.
No, but that's the whole
point. It is simultaneously the first shitpost, but it is also the first Reddit TV show.
I just don't think it was a very good shitpost. I'm gonna be honest.
Have you ever watched
it? It is simultaneously a good shitpost, but also very Reddit.
Have you ever watched Wonder Chosen on Onizuka Groyper?
I have not.
Wonder Chosen was created by the same creators as Xavier, and it's like imagine like proto MDE, but like kind of like imagine if like Sam Hyde was into parapolitics instead of like 4chan racism. It's actually a great show. Like Wonder Chosen was like one of the best underground alternative shows Adult Swim ever produced. Like it's the same creators as Xavier, and I think that one comedian was also involved, David Cross.
Interesting.
Yeah,
David Cross was in fucking everything in the early 2000s.
He was. Yeah.
Including Small Soldiers.
That was great.
And Halo 2.
He was in Halo 2.
Yeah, he's the voice of one of the Marines.
He voices one of the Marines.
Oh my God, I didn't know that. That's
crazy. Now
someone has said I better have not been impressed by South Park if I had that take.
I have some really bad.
Please tell me you don't.
Until very recently, I think South Park was good. Until very, very recent. Like I'm talking about super recent.
I've South Park in like 6 years. Yeah.
I don't think I've seen an episode of South Park since the 2016 election.
Probably.
So they actually got really high quality, I think, with some of their like hour-long specials. Like the COVID specials, I think are really good. They have a special on Ozempic that is actually pretty funny.
But then season where they're adults or something.
No, that's the COVID specials. So the COVID specials show them as adults and they go back in time to stop to distribute the COVID vaccine earlier, so they avoid their horrible future as adults where like Stan and Kyle are like total losers in the future. But Eric Cartman becomes a Jewish rabbi after marrying a Jewish girl.
Oh yeah, I think I saw clips of that. I'm like, what the hell is
this? It's very funny. It's actually very funny. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, so that wraps up Code Geass.
Gondola, I hope you were happy.
That really that was like a substantial portion of my life for a bit there, just trying to watch Code Geass all the way through. That was.
I discovered the perfect speed for watching it is at 1.75.
Interesting.
That is.
1.75 speed.
Oh, apparently they fired missiles at an Amazon location in Bahrain.
Oh,
that's funny. Like how
triple
like
the defense budget. All glory to Jeff Bezos.
no, but it's like how they are like the Iranians are kind of like are funny like targeting Western consumerism. Like that was like when Soleimani said like, well, we can't really destroy their heroes because like what are you gonna do? You can't like bomb Spider-Man. Like you can't bomb SpongeBob and Spider-Man.
That was funny. Even though like I disagree with that. That's the case. Like that was a really funny quote.
Yeah, and so
that
it's
like actually really funny.
See, if the Iranians wanted to start doing damage, they would start killing like American actors. And the morale is like, oh my god, they killed Tobey Maguire! Holy fuck, they killed Spider-Man! Like this is how the Iranians like get their like cultural demoralization victory. It's like, oh my god, they killed J. Jonah Jameson, they killed Omni-Man, they killed J.K. Simmons.
No, apparently in Lebanon, a McDonald's got bombed, and so you have like that's like the true power of the global like Western American empires like McDonald's and Amazon.
Yeah, when you said an Amazon warehouse was bombed, I reposted a tweet that was sent like when this Iran thing was starting to pop off. It was like when you know you're about to lose, so you decide to bomb a bunch of Arab countries. Great little video there. Great, you should watch the video. I retweeted it, so if you want to go to my account, Onizuka Jim, and watch that video, it's so funny. It's so good. Yeah, it's such a good edit. It is one of the best edits, like Giga Chat edits I've ever seen. It is so good. But
oh my god.
Yeah, I mean, it is kind of like sad, like that is like Western power in 2020, like in the 21st century. I was reading a really good Twitter thread that was about like how like the U.S. won the Vietnam War in a sense that like Vietnam is like totally imperialized by like Western culture now. Like despite that the communists won in the North, like they have lots of McDonald's. They're a very consumerist culture in Vietnam now, and like that ultimately the U.S. won that war.
There's a John McCain Street in Hanoi.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It's like yeah, maybe technically we lost militarily, which I think is even debatable. But like that we pulled out. We ended up winning in the end. You know, in the end, you're all American hegemons.
In the end,
I don't know if I'd say that's winning.
A McDonald's will rise from the grave, and the world will know that my spirit was right.
I don't know if I'd call that winning, but I guess
I wouldn't.
It's not winning. It's not winning in the sense like we want winning. Like we want like
humanity, like Western culture one. It's like more like the anti-culture one. Yeah, the global anti-culture one.
Yeah. But like ultimately, that is what dominates the U.S. now, and so in that sense, the U.S. won that war.
It's
because
Tom Hanks, shop around the corner victory. It's like, not only did I kill my competition, I got your bitch to fall in love with me.
That's why I think the UAE lowered their missile defenses because they knew that like Andrew Tate and Ian
they're like, we can kill the influencers now.
Yeah, like Andrew Tate, Saudi Arabia, Can you imagine if like Sneeko or Andrew Tate?
That would probably cause a riot in some parts of the country.
Oh my god! Why would they? That was crazy.
Donald Trump, if you're hearing me now, Donald Trump, please, Donald Trump,
harden your heart. I remember Dimes. He played this clip on Blood Satellite from Andrew Tate. He's like, "I'm in Saudi Arabia. Like, it could go right down. Shit could go down. Not UF slurs. Like, I'm gonna take a cop's gun, and it's like total apocalypse." It's like, bro, you're just like you're having a LARPing goon sesh right now. It's not happening. It's like
Yeah.
oh
Oh,
my god. Anyways, let's move on to the super chat.
Thank goodness.
Thank good.
super
All right.
chat.
Okay, let's go to Entropy first, and then YouTube. So we'll go from lowest to highest. Here we have our good friend, and I always get a kick out of this name, Theobucks Deschardin, for $3.
Such a great username. I'm so pissed that I didn't come up with it first.
Theobucks Deschardin. Everyone who, like Japanese, came into serious contact with the West has some kind of empire eschatology. Modern Western occultism itself cribs a lot from medieval notions, Ghibellinism, Catacon, etc. Yeah, that's a good point, actually. Yeah, that's a good point. And Theobucks Deschardin for $3. Hear me out. I'm loosely reminded of Plato's Republic. The way the author comes up with extraordinary means to make building sovereignty from zero plausible, but it still ends in a sort of tragedy. No, that's 100% a great point. The city soul comparison in Plato's Republic, and also as it extends in St. Augustine. The way that there is kind of like a noble lie, in a sense, that there is a different soul type to each individual that is a part of a different ruling class.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's great. That's a great comparison. There is there's a lot of debates in like outside academia in like modern Platonism or anti-Platonism. Like there's a lot of people that do like they'll try to like take like a Christian influence into it. Like there's this one guy who I believe was a professor but does his own thing. Have you ever heard of David Litwa? He's like Gnostic.
I can't say I've heard the name.
The name's
He's like this. He's kind of popular. He's like this Gnostic Christian, but he was a professor. Like he was, I think, a theology professor or a classics major. But then he like does his own thing online. Like there's a bunch. Like there's this whole like a universe of like these guys, like Gordon White, Ruin Soup, David Litwa. Like there's these like mythology people. Like Schwepp is another one. Like there's like a whole universe of people that do like Western esotericism. I always wanted to interview Rune Soup because like you could tell like the references he drops, he's kind of based. Like he knows, you know what I mean? Like he's based. But anyways, that's a great point actually. That's a very good point, Theobucks Deschardin. All right, Theobucks Deschardin for $5. The bit about willingness to die brings being the reason you lose is surprisingly good. It's a plausible rebuttal to Aristotle's account of natural slaves without denying the concept itself. Also like romanticism in the opposite direction, which is cool. How does it rebut the natural slave thesis? Because like I know there's a lot of criticism of Aristotle's natural slave thesis. Like the way that he presents it is just like a matter of fact thing that he doesn't really sort of argue for. There is like a legitimate criticism of there. But what do you guys think how does it rival Aristotle's natural slave thesis?
I'd have to give it some thought or maybe hear where Mr. Chardin is coming from.
Yeah. I think in the sense of the Thanatoic principle being ultimately for a higher goal or a higher good. Or like the fact that like self-sacrifice isn't always going to be a supremely good thing. Like, in fact, sometimes you just die for nothing. That's like,
The other thing too is that even the people that are quote unquote enslaved or those that choose to serve him inevitably find meaning or some kind of salvific purpose in their own work by serving him, like their own problems are resolved.
Yeah, true.
So like even if they're slaves, like their lives are fundamentally more interesting or have a greater sense of purpose than they may have at first glance.
Oh, so like Sex Freakman says, because his point was that people who would redact themselves and conquered are natural slaves. Well, that's true in the sense that instead of rebelling against your conditions, if you're just going to end it like sort of like a Yukio Mishima, like noble sunsetting, that actually is in a sense doing that in the conditions of spiritual and even physical slavery, that's like not the supreme condition. That actually, but then again, I think Mishima is a bad example because he actually did try to like stir the emotions of the Japanese military. Just it's like they laughed him off, and it was over, and it was sort of like an impossible thing, which I guess like is the height of romanticism in a way. But then it is, but then like there's always this perennial debate online where like Mishima is either like a noble, like someone to lionize. You get this with Sky King as well, or he's like, well, he was just a fool that like tried to fight an impossible battle just for the sake of it, and he should have just like progressively coaxed the Japanese people into his trad worldview. Which I don't know. There's like I'm kind of on the fence with. I definitely do admire like as an artist, I do admire the romanticism of it. But yeah, a point taken by Lelouch though about
yeah, there's all the romantic angle. I don't think you can ever really fully avoid or escape when talking about these things because you're right. Like the Sky King or those that go out in a way that may not be seen as ideal. They're always going to be debated by people who are like, well, what's the point of going out like that when, maybe you could have done more or hit the financial district, who knows? Like there's just all kinds of arguments run about.
Oh, yeah, like that one guy that went, the IRS guy in the plane, the biplane. Yeah. No, Sex Freeman said I misworded it. The self-redactors are not the natural slaves per Aristotle. Well, yeah, I guess because they're rebelling against their condition. They have the capacity to rebel. Whereas most people in a condition of slavery, they actually don't end up redacting themselves. So
because I mean, even the guy that Orange, right? Like he asks that question all the time. Like, what is the thing that you value the most? And it's your life. And
the vampire Britannia.
Yeah. Like he gets to really challenge that question because it's just like, well, if you honestly believe that, then this is what makes you so easy to like target and or criticize or whatever. Is like you are willing to do anything to stay alive, and that's what makes you weak. Whereas those that are willing to die are totally different.
Yeah, you have nothing on them, literally.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Yeah.
Yeah, you can't control them like the others.
Yeah. But thank you, Theoblex, to Sheridan. That was a great one. And R8 for $5. Shadow of the Torture soon. Obligatory sneeze.
Yes.
It will be coming.
That'll
soon.
come after Holy Week in Pasco.
Yep. And then we have Owen Zalesky, but his name is Geopolitics alimony for Gabe.
Oh, Geo pays alimony for Gabe. Your spiritual wife's son.
I mean, they don't have two officers of the court doing the supervised visit. They just have like one person now. So it's like it's an improvement. It's not like I'm trying to angle for twice a month, but that's kind of a big ask. So
as your lawyer, I don't think you're getting that.
Yeah, it's probably not going to happen.
That is true. You're our Twitter lawyer now, Onizuka Groyper.
Yeah. That's
true. I've had multiple people tell me that, like, the minute that I get that bar certification, that
you're going to be like Nick Ricada.
I have to, like, give them legal advice on random things.
Yeah, like you're gonna be like the Twitter lawyer instead of a YouTube lawyer. Like you're like Twitter's Nick.
I am planning to have a shirt made that.
Oh my god.
Oh.
Nick Ricada.
Compared to Nick Ricada, I don't know how to feel about that, honestly.
I'm sorry, you're not gonna. I mean, well, I don't know. I mean,
trust me, he's not.
I guess. I mean, no, it's true, but I mean, I don't know. I mean, Nick Ricada kind of does have a harem, so. Never mind.
Anyways, next super chat.
Hello, gents. Happy Treatum. Hope you're all having a good Holy Thursday. I am happy to see some art from Geo. Please do more art, Geo. Do you make any art on Onizuka Groyper? Praying for you all. I guess law is kind of like an art form.
It's a speechcraft of the word.
It's true.
Yeah.
Anyways, thank you, Owen Zalesky.
Onizuka Groyper is a artist in Twitter racism. That's all I can say. I personally know the man, so this is why I'm saying these things.
I used to make edits a long time ago, but I'm too
Now
lazy
you just make
to
Marvel Rivals edits, which is sad.
Yeah, no, I'm too lazy to pirate Adobe Premiere Pro again. That's like literally the only reason I
should do
don't
that.
do edits anymore.
There you go.
Um,
Yeah. I asked Ricada if he regretted putting on the Christian medallion. He actually owned up to being the cause of his own mistakes. Oh my god. Well, anyways, Sam153 for $20. Thank you, Sam153. Our good friend, our good patron. Happy Easter. Code Geass has elements that I liked, but it's laden with anime tropes and leaps of logic. Therefore, in the end, in my opinion, it was kind of cringe. Surely characters sucked.
You should have seen the first episode we covered last week on this, because I think I laid into both Cap and Onizuka here, where I'm just like, the number of anime tropes in this series made me want to just like blow my head schmoove off. But then I have to remind then they're telling me, and they're adamant, where they're like, actually, this is the source where most of these like crappy tropes come from.
Yeah, like a lot of shows like this are like kind of ruined in hindsight by the proliferation of a lot of these tropes. You know, it is like somebody who's watched like a bunch of recent mecha anime, if they go watch the original Gundam, they're gonna be like have a really hard time going through it, because Gundam created like basically every trope that exists in the mecha genre today.
Yeah.
So
no, I thought like the
first season made me just like it. They tone it down a lot in the second season, but oh man, the first season is so rough with like Lelouch's internal anime dialogue. I'm like, I can't be doing this, man.
Speaking of that, I just read someone say they want to force you to watch Death Note. Which, if you hate the elements you hate about Code Geass, you will hate Death Note.
Listen, buddy, unless you're gonna pay the same amount Gondola did, it ain't gonna happen. It ain't gonna happen.
How many seasons are Death Note?
Yeah, how many seasons of Death Note are there?
Of so many anime tropes.
Never mind, it's not going to happen, so I'm not worried. No one's coughing up that kind of cash to make me watch another fucking anime.
Maybe, you never know. Anyways,
hint, hint, wink, wink. Next
so
super chat.
Thank you, Sam153, and Charlie Mackey for $25. Thank you, Charlie Mackey, our good friend, another good friend, good patron of the show. Oh my god, this is gonna be.
What's he saying?
It's gonna be quite something to get through.
Yeah.
Good evening. I hope you're there. I hope you three are well. Have you seen the hot new anime? I redacted from involuntary made, but reincarnated as the strongest fantasy ethno-nationalist chud warlord with a harem of racially ambiguous semi-furries in another world anime. More seriously, the isekai genre is kind of tragic, other than Gate. I mean, to which he's referring to Science Gate.
No. He's referring to a show called Gate.
Yeah, there's a show called Gate.
Yeah. He's
there's an anime called Gate. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I only watched it recently, but it is
one, right?
Yes. It's the one where like essentially just this like gate opens in Japan, and a modern day military goes to fantasy world and completely wrecks their shit. It's
that
pretty
like
good.
Such a power fantasy. That sounds like a power fantasy. That's what I want. I
will say there are other good isekai shows. Like I highly recommend Mushoku Tensei is a good one. I enjoy Overlord, even though it's a little cringe, but like that's part of the humor of it.
What constitutes quote unquote a light novel? What the hell is a light novel?
Light novel is it's literally just like a short novel, but like they're usually stories you would traditionally see in a manga, but not in a manga. Like there's very few illustrations in light novels.
I see.
Next to none.
Right.
Yeah, light novels and manga are like the two most popular forms of literature over in Japan.
Oh, interesting.
The more you know.
All right. So now we have the YouTube super chats. What date? Oh yeah, the 2nd. Or April. April 1st. Why does it say
April the 2nd?
Yeah, but why is it saying April 1st? Weird.
Did someone leave like a super thanks on April 1st or something?
No, they all say April 1st.
Oh, okay. Weird.
Maybe it's because of the YouTube payouts. I don't know.
Probably.
Yeah. Anyways, Randall Shirker for $2. Code Geass Empire, more like it.
True. That's true, though.
So true.
True.
Because, man, the first season of this show made me go like, man, I want total Anglo supremacy everywhere.
Oh my god. Someone said in the comments about Gate, a lot of animes just light novel adaptations. Welcome to the NHK was a light novel.
That's true.
Somebody said something about Gate is just Japanese military propaganda. Is that true?
Yeah, the JSDF did sponsor it.
Oh!
Or they worked as a consultant, partner.
Yeah.
Which totally fine. We should triple the Japanese self-defense budget.
Well, that's like America had like a bunch of slop movies.
I think Japan should have even more, F-35s. Like that's fine with me.
Well, that's like Active Valor and like that Zero Dark 30, like both of those.
Well, also like the entire U.S. military's relationship with fucking Infinity Ward, like.
Yeah. I mean, let's face it, like Black Hawk Down
or Halo, a lot of people forget like there was there were recruitment events with like Halo memorabilia back in the early 2000s.
That is so like millennial GWAT, like you're getting Halo, but you're also signing up to go to like Operation Enduring
Hey man,
Freedom.
You're also, you know who else? You know how Master Chief fought against a bunch of religious extremists? You will be like the Master Chief.
I'm gonna be like the Master Chief. I got the sniper rifle.
You know what else looks like Blood Gulch? A rat.
One of the funniest. It was tragic, but like one of the funniest things. One of the most fucked up but like funniest things that I ever heard on Night Owls was from Yoshi, where he's like, everyone who watched White Chicks in theaters probably died in Operation Enduring Freedom.
Ooh, that's something.
That's terrible. So true.
That's really funny.
I know somebody I need to tell that, and you know exactly who I'm thinking of.
Oh my god.
I'm like, yep, I know exactly who that tweet's getting forwarded to.
Hideo, look at Sex Freak. Hideo Kojima be like, well, it's not cool. Proceeds to show the sickest shit ever. Oh, it's too bad.
If you play a single Ace Combat game, you will be investing all of your like Fidelity account money into like Northrop Grumman and everything else.
Raytheon, Lockheed Martin, yeah, Boeing. Anyways, and
all hail General Dynamics.
Whatever happened to DynCorp? Is DynCorp still around?
I don't think so.
Oh man. That was kind of like how like Eric Prince just gave up on Blackwater. It's like a subsidiary now.
Well, you got there's some legal criminal charges I'm sure he'd like to avoid.
Oh my god. Anyways, Gabe Underground, you're good, my spiritual wife's son. Hopefully soon
I like how even in this scenario you're a cock.
Oh my god! I mean,
My spiritual wife, son.
sometimes her boyfriend comes to drop Gabe off. By which I mean capitalissimo. Anyways, for $9.99, thank you, Gabe. What is the quick preview on your Diner Goth take, Papa? I drove David crazy trying to convince him that they're just fellaheens with vaporins, like Kirak's appropriation of the term swap Buddhism, WTG anime. Well, I quite enjoy the Diner Goth thing. It definitely is a real phenomenon in terms of the internet becoming a weird cultural nowhere land. But I do think that, like, at least some of the leftoid criticism towards Robert Mariani in that article was valid in the sense that he does have a surface analysis of the psychology of it, because he's trying to focus on big sociological shifts, whereas he probably should have interviewed more than just the girl he was banging at the time. He should have interviewed more people you would consider.
That's like the best test subject. He should have banged more women in order to have a wider sample.
Yeah. But I think that he kind of missed the marks in terms of like the inner psychological motivations of like what constitutes like living in the sticks and not having any cultural reference that you identify with. So therefore the internet becomes this haven of cross-pollination of different subcultures and fandoms. But I think that where the leftoids criticize him, they're always doing this like, you know, oh, what about the class analysis of it? It's like he implies a class analysis, but he's implying that in American culture, rather American deculturation, class is almost irrelevant in a certain sense. The way that, you know, traditional Marxism formulates the superstructure-based dichotomy of what culture intersecting with class is. But I mean, it's been a while. I mean, it's been a week or so since I read the Diner Goth article. I definitely, if I were
I
to
just feel like Mytho America has been doing this better for years.
Yeah. And I think like a lot of the parapolitics people, they went apeshit because like Mariani, he has like some Silicon Valley ties, and like they were talking about how he's doing this dating app thing. And
what's that? A random writer has Silicon Valley ties in the year of our Lord 2026.
Yeah, and he did the Jack magazine thing. Yeah, so like,
wow.
Yeah. So like a lot of the parapolitics people, they were like going crazy.
I made a dating app. He'll give me money. Words so fucking simple, brother.
There was like these parapolitics people talking mad smack about Carl Jung, and I do notice like whenever they're like
he gets a lot of shit from certain groups. Carl Jung.
Like whenever they're not talking about like, I notice like anytime parapolitics people, I was saying this to Wormwood, every time they talk about any spiritual matters outside of like their like research brain lens of like, okay, here's this connection between intelligence agencies, every time they bring up any form of like the occult or spirituality, they tend to like just talk very stupidly, and that they're only like invested in like a very surface level understanding of like what these people were talking about. And so like that's where like I sort of off the parapolitics train when they're talking about like Jung or Ostensky or whatever. Like it's just, I don't know, man, like they have a very one-dimensional way of viewing it, because like Jung allegedly had some ties to the OSS when it came to like when it came to World War II. But like, I don't know, it's just no, Randall Shirker always never, you know, Young rubbed him the wrong way. But anyways, moving on. So thank you, Gabe. Maybe maybe I'll come on Slop Kings or sidebar again, talk about the Diner Goth thing. So anyways,
apparently they just recorded today and Gabe was singing.
Yeah. But anyway, speaking of him, Randall Shirker for another $2. Reminder, Onizuka is waiting for boomers to stop.
I don't know what that's in reference to.
Is that in reference
to the
actual
what
anime?
Talking about. I don't.
Maybe Code Geass.
I don't know what we were talking about.
Well, we're talking a lot about boomers tonight, so
we did mention a lot of boomers, yeah.
And Gondola for 100 kroner and okay. Who needs Theobucks when you got Gondo bucks?
That's so true.
So true. Thank you.
Gondo is our like strongest soldier.
And then Rando Shirker for $5. We're gonna witness Geo fully embrace his need to do a 5-hour stream on UFOs. And disclosure, I'm absolutely marathoning that. Not gonna lie. Yes, it'll happen. Maybe not 5 hours, but it'll happen. Thank you, Randall Shirker. And Wingman for $2. Not seen CGI. Picture Black Knights as Wakandan. Not seen Code Geass.
Were it so easy.
Oh my
god. That'd be crazy.
Oh man.
That'd be crazy.
I do appreciate how much Arthurian imagery is used.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Like I love that the capital is called Pendragon.
I as a fellow like Arthurian legend enjoyer, it does warm my soul.
I literally started a company where I was like, we're not doing Lord of the Rings names. We're literally just going to do Arthurian legend shit because I'm tired of that.
Yeah.
I love Tolkien. Don't get me wrong. I like Tolkien. I love the Silmarillion. I like the idea of a creation story of a world brought about by song. But these gay tech bro traders to America have fundamentally ruined it. And so we're sticking with Arthurian legend. All based companies use Arthurian legend.
I do wonder what would Tolkien think about like a massive surveillance tech corporation being named Palantir.
I think he would think it would be apt though in some weird way.
He'd be like a little on the nose.
Yeah.
I do.
I probably
on the
agree with that.
nose.
My favorite thing about Code Geass is the White Man's Burden show. Lelouch, Charles, and Schneisel all fight to change the world. It's the ultimate Anglo show where social change is an Anglo act.
Look, man, it's an Anglo world. You're just living in it.
Oh my god. Oh,
it's an Anglo-Teutonic world. You're just living in it.
Oh no, I'm gonna. Anyways, let's move on. Wingman 45 again for $2. We know their update on Big Spence lore. Well, there really is not a lot of. Well, I mean, there is, but like.
Referring to, I know exactly. He's referring to Richard Spencer's partner.
Yeah.
Can I name her or no? Is that a no?
Yeah, I'd rather not. Anyways,
okay, that's fine.
I'd rather not talk about Richard Spencer. But she had a good take, though. She did have a good take. Anyways.
Must be a cold day in hell.
Oh, my God. Rando Shirker for $5. Reminder that Vance went further to the right because of his woman. If the rumors are to be believed of her reaction to Musk's Christmas call-out. Maybe.
Yeah, I mean... I think that could be true. I mean, like she just seems like a very annoying person, and like quite a henpecker.
She really does seem like a woman who really does not want to be a politician's wife.
That's
but
also.
She kind of does, though. She kind of does want him to succeed.
Well, obviously. I think she has to do the stand by your man thing because. Well, like you married him, he's a politician, and he's now the second most powerful. Like he's a heartbeat away from being the most powerful man on earth. Like,
yeah,
we kind of have to stand by it. Like, where are you going to go after this? Like, if
we're
you were
like
to
her
leave.
family. Like her family's more of a family of like scientists and academics, whereas like, I mean, some people
now
say
it's a political marriage. Like, yeah.
No,
but they've been together for a while, even before he ran for Senate. So it's not like.
Yeah.
You know.
So well, true. She clearly rejected all the other losers he was hanging out with, like Vivek Ramaswamy.
Yeah.
So,
I think that you just know that Usha Vance called Vivek Ramaswamy a Jeet underneath her breath.
No, but I mean, some people do say that she's a striver, but then there's parts of her that I think you're right. She probably.
You're telling me a Southeast Asian woman who went to an Ivy League college and married like a prominent up and coming political person isn't a striver?
But like you were. No, but like you were
saying.
No, but like you were saying, Prude, like, but not in like the striver is like I'm a public political figure. I don't think she wanted.
No, I think that she's probably a very I say this complimentary. I'm sure in a private setting or in a business setting, she's probably a real cutthroat bitch, and I say that like as a positive thing.
Right.
Not to be too negative,
She's
but
a girl
like,
boss.
yeah, she's
Whereas,
probably
like,
she's probably a great girl boss.
Whereas like politics, you can't easily control.
So it's very good that she has been sidelined as the second lady of the United States.
No, but what I mean is like you can't control conditions as easily in politics as you can
of course
in the business
not.
world.
No.
So I think that probably does. She's like, yeah, this is like maybe we bit off more than we can chew, sort of deal. But anyway,
imagine saying yes, like, yeah, you could be like the running mate, baby. Like, she's probably thinking like, yeah, you're not gonna win, you know. And now she's like, oh, crazy. Shit. He won.
It's over.
I don't know. It's not I am very thankful that is not.
Well, I think like Trump didn't even think he was gonna win. To be honest with you,
I will say this though, I'm not big into the like Trump cult of personality. I do find it really endearing how Melania has stood by her man.
Yeah.
Like get you that, you know.
Yeah. But anyways, Randall Shirker. No, wait, we already did that. Wingman 45 for $2. Historically, that's a normal age gap. What age gap are you?
I know. We were. I brought up.
We know.
Yeah, the 5-year age gap. My dad kvetching about a 5-year age gap.
Yeah. And then Wingman 45 again for $2. How much Teen Titans or Kingdom Come comics review?
Wait.
Teen Titans?
No to Teen Titans. I know about Kingdom Come.
Is he asking you to watch the Teen Titans show? I mean, it's a good show, so I mean,
it's a good show.
I'm not doing it.
Yeah, the Teen Titans. The Teen Titans. I think he's talking about the Teen Titans show from the early 2000s, which is actually really good.
What's the Kingdom Come comics? What's that about?
I have no idea what that is.
I don't
it's
either.
like Superman.
Oh, wait a minute. Yes, I do know what that is. I mean, that wouldn't be a terrible experience.
No.
If you enjoy comics that even like a little bit, that is like one of the better.
That would be something that
comics.
I think you and I, Onizuka, would enjoy more because you and I have talked for several hours about comics and arcs and runs. But if I'm ever going to be doing comic book reviews, I'm sorry, that's going on a second channel, not DA.
Yeah.
That's fair.
So then, Not Grim for $1.99. The first S post is perfect hair forever. The first shit post is perfect hair forever. What?
Hair forever. And our reference to Xavier Renegade Angel. Yeah.
No,
I
perfect hair forever is a 1-season show.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, premature bald. Tries to find a solution is premature baldness. That's funny. Then Not Grim again. Do not talk bad of Shirley. So help me God. And
true. Shirley is very good.
Shirley
I like
a nice redemption in the second season.
Yeah.
Then Not Grim, by God, I wanted to kill her in season 1.
Yeah. Then Not Grim again.
And then I was sad when she died.
I'm more tolerant of tropes, but it can get too much.
I mean, anime is the medium.
When the show came out, I was way more tolerant. I was like, this probably was like, even Cap said it last week. It's like, this is responsible for a lot of the chuny shit that apparently has infected most modern anime.
Does Death Note basically just a chuny show?
Death Note is the chuny show. I'm gonna be completely honest.
Like it, yeah.
Death Note.
Can we get Fraser Payne to redo Death Note, but it's the Chud, like Light Kagami is Chud?
Yeah.
Unironically, like Death Note, I would say probably 50 to 60% of the show is internal monologues.
That's crazy. That would piss the hell out.
No thanks.
That's why I was like, when someone suggested, you guys watch Death Note, I was like, all the things you don't like about Code Geass are so much worse in Death Note. You know, like it,
Yeah.
I mean, for the first half, for a good third of the show, he's in high school.
Like,
First of
yeah,
all,
in
I
like
mean, you don't
the
know much of
maniacal
the high school
laughing.
stuff.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. I will say I do like Death Note though. Like I
Like, I
think it's
was in
just
middle
better to
school
read
when
the
all
manga.
this stuff was like coming out, and there was a very specific set of like
Weebs.
weeb alt goth chicks that I certainly hung out with and tried to make out with, and did not understand what the fuck they were referencing the entire time.
Oh,
I was a terrible
you were trying
teenager.
to score with diner goth chicks.
I did. And when
Oh,
I met
I didn't
my
realize
wife,
that.
she was dressed like a diner goth chick with black lipstick. It was wonderful.
Well, you know, if you want to have a kid again, just tell her to dress like that again.
I
Wanna have
well,
a kid? No,
it was
Theo
quite
Vaughn.
no, actually it was I can say it. I saw Ron White.
You saw Ron White?
I love Ron White. I
He's
love the
still
movie.
alive?
Yeah, he's still alive. Anyways,
Whoa!
I dropped a friend off. At his house, and where she worked at McDonald's at the time. This was like 9 years ago. And I saw her and I was like, oh, I'll just say hi, I'll stop by. And it was her and like one other guy working at the McDonald's at like 2:00 in the morning. And she asked the guy to cover for her. And lo and behold, like so she talks to me and she makes me a cup of coffee, and I'm asking for a medium McDonald's coffee, 1 sugar, 2 cream, no 2 cream, no 2 sugar, 1 cream. And then I watch in horror as the little ticket on my receipt for the McDonald's coffee says 1 medium coffee, 10 cream. And I'm like, oh no. And it is the worst cup of coffee of my entire fucking life. And I didn't want to say anything to ruin it because it was nice to see her. So I'm just like, oh well, I'm not gonna drink this because it was awful. But anyways, there's your stupid Mrs. Frog story from forever ago. But yeah, I mean, I don't want to review any. I'm good. Let it all be.
Yeah, it would be terrible because that's sort of like Chuny type of. Anyways,
Honestly,
President Trump
if you were
wishes
to
us a happy Passover, guys. Just so you know.
Oh yeah,
True,
I saw
true.
that, the Passover thing. Anyways, Wingman. What do you say, Onizuka?
Oh, I was just gonna say, if you ever consumed Death Note, it's better to just consume the manga. The manga is so much
I'll
better
just
than
consume
the anime.
the memes.
You're the memes.
That too.
Anyways, Wingman 45 for $2. The Spencer partner is her. Now you have to. It's allegedly RFH. Okay, there you go. I said it.
There you go.
Very allegedly.
I thought it was confirmed. I thought that was like.
Is it confirmed?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she confirmed that.
Anyways, see me rolling for $2. What do you guys think of King Pilled?
I've met the guy in real life.
I was about to say I know the guy personally.
I know what parish I've been to his parish multiple times, and in fact, this will only dox me to like people at that parish, but so his parish, his priest is my old debate coach in high school's husband.
Oh, yeah.
So, but I mean, he's fine.
Yeah, he's good. He seems like a good guy. I mean, I'm not a plan truster, but like, but he's a nice guy. Yeah, he's a good guy. Anyways, who the F is her?
Don't worry about it. That is a legit info hazard. Do not research.
Yeah, don't do that. Actually,
Rafim Austrian painter.
Oh my god, it's been almost 3.5 hours. Geo, let's speed the fuck up.
All right.
Some of us
finally, Wingman for $5. Paying Geo to yell at Prudy. Promised my review in February.
Which one? Who is this?
Wingman 4564.
You're gonna. It's coming. Okay. You and Yassine are both getting them out. They will be out after next week. So the week of the 13th. It's going to be like 3 videos that week. There's actually 4 because it's going to be Do You Even Read on the 13th? Then we're going to host again I'll host on the 14th. And then the Whitewashing America book will probably come out on the 16th.
What's the next Dyer on?
We're doing a 3-parter on the Transformation of the World by Jürgen Osterhammel, which has been a really good book so far on the history of the 19th century. After that, I think it's going to be the Transhumanist Temptation.
Interesting. Nice. All right, boys, this has been great. And finally, let me remind you, where the hell is it? Screen share. Let me remind you, okay? Giant Productions, all your artistic needs, right here. Very cheap prices for you brokies. So, you know, really great stuff. Giant Productions. And thank you so much for the super chats. From the bottom of our hearts, you keep the lights on, and we always appreciate your patronage. And next week we'll be on Prude's channel, and I'll hopefully have.
It'll be on the 14th. I'm taking next week is Orthodox Holy Week, so as always, I take that week off.
Okay, yeah. So I'll have content lined up probably next week, but I will have either tomorrow or this weekend a patrons exclusive content-minded extra audio on the Iran war and the discourse around it. Stuff I really prefer not to say in public. So, because it'll piss people off. So no, I mean, yeah, but like I go through the Byung-Chul Han commentary in Infocracy on the Harry Frankfurt essay on bullshit. And so I also talk about the politics of empire versus the politics of personality and Trumpism itself and the history of it. So I don't just like totally blow my stack. I mean, I do blow my stack, but hopefully you'll enjoy. So it's basically about the politics of empire and this essay by Harry Frankfurt and stuff like that. So as it pertains to Iran. So that'll be pretty good. And next week I'll probably have the UFO and the Work of Art episode that I'm trying to concoct in my mind here by reading this young essay. So yeah. What do you have approved next week?
I'll be live tomorrow with Mr. D. We'll be continuing our review series of Twin Peaks: The Return. We're covering I think it's going to be episode 12 is what we're reviewing tomorrow, or part 12 as they're known on The Return. I will hopefully have Yassine ask me to cover some of the Ace Combat stuff. I have turned that into a super long rant about Ace Combat, but also my love of flying games in general. So it's going to be like part my love for basically like, you know, airplane, warplane anime, Area 88, War Thunder, IL-2, and then some personal flying stories that I have, both when I was doing a lot of sim stuff and considering getting my pilot's license. So it'll just be like a kind of cozy 2-hour rant with a bunch of video game footage. So I hope that should be out next week, pre-recorded. And then after that, on the 13th, on Bright Monday, I'll be covering Transformation of the World, the history of the 19th century, with Dimes again as a part 2 of 3. And then Wingman's video will be out, and then we'll resume hosting DA that week as well. But next week being Orthodox Holy Week, I take that week off.
Nice. All right, as we always say, thank you so much. God bless.
Thank you to our guest for coming on.
Yeah, Onizuka Groyper.
No problem. It's always a pleasure to be on here.
Oh man! So as we always say, God bless. Goodbye. Too sweet.
Happy Easter, everyone.
Happy Easter. Ugh.